Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Military History Chronicles. Have another episode here today. Thought I'd spend some time on a specific topic known as Realpolitik. We'll get into this a little bit. It's kind of a how do you want to say? I want to have it's a way to conduct your it's not just even geopolitics, but we're getting into geopolitics with good old Realpolitik. The one who coined this phrase was Otto von Bismarck. He was the unifier of Germany. But the ideas of Realpolitik actually took effect a little bit before his time. And we'll get into that a little bit. Wait for a little bit more people to get in. Then we'll start chatting about this a little bit more. Wait for I think Will may be showing up. We'll see. Haven't heard back from him, but yeah, we'll see if he's going to show up tonight. And then, of course, after talking about this, we'll get into what's going on in the world. That's always fun. That always leads to some interesting conversations. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna pull up a few things here, guys. Just bear with me for a minute. Gotta bring up the good old Twitter, right? All right, got that. All right, got a few more people in here. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. What's up, Jim? Oh, God. Man, I'm trying to talk about Realpolitik. Not Chapman. Man, what's up, Eric? We had plenty of that last night, didn't we? Oh, my gosh. Still not happy about it. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm sure we could talk a little bit about it a little bit later. We'll see. We'll see. Just as a change of topic type of thing. Gosh dang, man. Whatever. Thanks, Jim. You got me going. It's pretty going good, Jim. Hopefully you're having a good Saturday evening. Same with you, Eric. Been raining off and on all day. Had a nice little storm come through here in Northern California. I guess they're getting slammed up there in the mountains. We need it, though. What's up, Fossey? Yes, we need pitching. But yeah, yes. Thank you, Fossey. Appreciate it. We need pitching. But we're here for history. Appreciate that. All right. Hey, real quick, just to get to some formalities, if you notice in the description, the source I'm going to use is Henry Kissinger's book called Diplomacy. Wow. I mean, that's a really good book. If you want to learn about Western European, you could even say just Western history to include the United States. It's a fantastic book. And it again, exactly what it says. It talks about the different diplomacy that happened. God, I think that he started or maybe around the 17th century. And of course, went up to the 20th century. I'll get into that. Henry Kissinger he was a history professor, of course, in Harvard. And of course, he was did I say Harry? I meant Henry. I'm sorry. Henry Kissinger. Look at that. I'm already messing up. Henry Kissinger. See, you talked about Chapman and it got me all messed up. You got me all messed up. Thanks, Jim. Yes, it's Henry Kissinger. I'm sorry. But he was more famous as far as being the national security. Where's your sidekick? National security advisor for President Nixon, Secretary of State as well. No, actually, or was he? I don't want to mess this up any more than I've already have. I've already said Henry Kissinger, but yes, he was a national security advisor and he was Secretary of State. Helped open up China, but he's got some fascinating ideas on diplomacy and just kind of laying it out for you. Again, the book is called Diplomacy. It's an excellent book. If that's something you guys are interested in, and that type of stuff. It kind of, again, you kind of have to learn from the history to kind of learn what's going on today. It gives you kind of a foundation on what's going on out there. All right. But Realpolitik. Yeah, diplomacy, exactly. Here, I'll show you what it's like. I'll bring it up. It'll probably brought up on Amazon here. Let's see. Let me do this. Yep, there it is right there. That's the one. Let me see. Let me see if I can share that. Should be able to. Yep, there it is right there. This is the book that I'm talking about. Diplomacy. All right. It gets into the concept of Europe. Okay, here, you know what you guys might understand. Has any of you guys ever heard of power politics? Eric, if you want me to mess you up for a little more, guess what? Foreign could have signed both. Oh my gosh. Yeah, exactly. I know, Matt. I know, but you know what? Who cares about Chapman? They need pitching. How about a pitcher in Bellinger? How about that? That might have been a little bit better. See, you're already messing with me. Anyways, power politics. If you guys have ever heard of the term called power politics, that's what is derived from. It's just another word for Realpolitik. All right, and I'll get into the whole the definition of it here in a minute. But what I'm going to do is I'll read some excerpts from this book, so you guys can get an understanding of what it means. The first guy I want to talk about, he was in the thumbnail. Matter of fact, here, I'll throw up the thumbnail real quick. I know I had it here in the very beginning with the music going. But the guy on the left was Cardinal Richelieu. Cardinal Richelieu. All right. And of course, he was a cardinal during the Holy Roman Empire. But he was a cardinal for France. But he was, of course, part of the Catholic Church. And he had a unique way in dealing with how to deal with the rest of Europe. Let me get into this here in a minute. Let's see. Because with the Holy Roman Empire, they ran all of Europe pretty much, right? The Habsburgs. And of course, because they were running everything was based off of the Catholic religion. That's just the way it was. Yes, there was some national interest, but a lot of this had to do with religion, and they took direction in how they ran their empires based on religion. Cardinal Richelieu, a little bit different. Hold on one second. I want to get to the right spot here where I want to be. All right. All right. I want to find the right spot here for it so it doesn't seem weird. Here we go. You're going to have to just bear with me because I want to find a very good spot to start this here. Just give me a minute, guys. I want to make sure I got the right spot here. Okay, here, let's get into this. So just bear with me. Cardinal Crawford. That's pretty good. Pretty good, Aaron. I like that. That's pretty good. All right, we're talking about, of course, what was going on in Western Europe with the Habsburgs, the Holy Roman Empire. So in Western Europe, again, this is from Henry Kissinger's book, Diplomacy. In Western Europe, the potential and from time to time, actual conflict between the Pope and Emperor established the conditions for eventual constitutionalism. Say that 10 times fast. And the separation of powers, which are the basis of modern democracy. It enabled the various feudal rulers to enhance their autonomy by exacting a price for both contending factions. This in turn led to a fractionate. Oh man, that's a tough word. Fractionated Europe, a patchwork of duchies, counties, cities, and bishoprics. Though in theory, all the feudal lords owed fealty to the emperor, in practice, they did what they pleased. Various dynasties claimed the imperial crown, and the central authority almost disappeared. The emperors maintained the old vision of universal rule without any possibility of realizing it. At the fringes of Europe, France and England and Spain did not accept the authority of the Holy Roman Empire, though they remained part of the universal church. Okay, when they're talking about the universal church, they're talking about the Catholic Church. Okay, this is just the way it was back then. All right, so you had both France, England, and Spain. Even though they didn't follow the Holy Roman Empire, they still followed the universal church, being the Catholic Church. Not until the Habsburgs dynasty had laid their near permanent claim to the imperial crown in the 15th century, and through permanent marriages acquired the Spanish crown and its vast resources, and it became possible for the Holy Empire to aspire to translate this universal claims into a political system. In the first half of the 16th century, Emperor Charles V revived the imperial authority to the point which raised the prospect of the Central European Empire, composed of what is today Germany, Austria, Northern Italy, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Eastern France, Belgium, and the Netherlands, a grouping so potentially dominant as to prevent the emergence of anything resembling the European balance of power. That's another word that you guys will hear a lot about if you read some history about balance of power. You really get into the balance of power kind of after what we're talking about here, maybe even prior to World War I. Balance of power being, you did one nation. Europe tried to prevent one nation from being so powerful that it would trump all the other ones. It was really weird. I mean, it was just a balance of power. And really, that's the central country that was involved in that was Germany. And we're going to get into this here in a little bit, where many of the nations, especially France, did not want a unified Germany, because they understood that a unified Germany had the potential of being a huge power in Central Europe. France didn't want that. They wanted Germany to stay in its separate states. All right, let me get into now. Here we go. Oh, yeah, might as well get into it. This is a little bit of story time. All right, at that very moment, the weakening of the papacy under the impact of the Reformation thwarted the prospect of a hegemonic European empire. When strong, the papacy had been a thorn in the side of the Holy Roman Emperor, and a formidable rival. When on the decline in the 16th century, the papacy proved equally a bane to the idea of empire. Emperors wanted to see themselves and wanted others to see them as the agents of God. But in the 16th century, the emperor came to be perceived in Protestant lands less as an agent of God than as a Viennese warlord tied to a decadent pope. The Reformation gave rebellious princes a new freedom of action in both the religious and the political realms. Their break with Rome was a break with religious universality. Their struggle with the Habsburg Empire demonstrated that the princes no longer saw fealty to the empire as a religious duty. I know we're getting a little bit weird here. With the concept of unity collapsing, the emerging states of Europe needed some principle to justify their heresy and to regulate their relations. They found it in the concepts of raison d'etat. All right. We'll talk about what raison d'etat is. And the balance of power. Each depended on the other raison d'etat, asserted that the well-meaning or well-being of the state justified whatever means were employed to further it. The national interest, that's the key word. The national interest supplanted the medieval notion of universal morality. The balance of power replaced the nostalgia for universal monarchy with the consolation that each state, in pursuing its own selfish interests, would somehow contribute to the safety and the progress of all the others. So, in other words, they had somewhat of a form of morality in how they were running these empires. And it came to the idea that for people, you know what? Maybe national interest needs to be at the forefront, because if you don't have your national interest at the forefront, you may wind up sacrificing something. Maybe another nation coming in and providing more influence, maybe even harm said nation that wasn't exhibiting their national interest. Now, this Cardinal Richelieu, we'll get into this guy here. And this guy, the Cardinal Richelieu is going to have to deal primarily with France. All right, he worked for the French king. What was it, King Louis XIII, if I'm not mistaken? But he was also, what's up, Ron? But he was also an agent of the church. So he had to weigh both national interests and the church. But as you'll see, when it came to national interests, he pretty much ignored the church. The principal agent for this French policy was the improbable figure, a prince of the church, Armand Jean de... Oh, I can't even say it. I'm not going to even say it. I'm just going to say Cardinal Richelieu. Way easier. First minister of France from 1624 to 1642. Upon learning of Cardinal Richelieu's death... Okay, I'm not going to get into that. It's funny because basically when he did die... What's up, Benji? When he did die, the Pope... the Pope at the time was Pope Urban the Eighth, said that if there is a God, the Cardinal will have much to answer for. If not, he had a successful life. And we'll get into why. Because as I said, he kind of... His faith was in, of course, his specific faith, which was Catholic. That did not wane. But when it came to national interests, he didn't exactly follow what the Pope wanted him to do. That's kind of where it comes down to. It says, few statesmen, this again, according to Henry Kissinger in his book Diplomacy, few statesmen can claim a greater impact on history. Richelieu was the father of the modern state system. He promulgated the concept of raison d'etat and practiced it relentlessly for the benefit of his own country. Under his auspices, raison d'etat replaced the medieval concept of universal moral values as the operating principle of French policy. Initially, he sought to prevent the Habsburgs' domination of Europe, but ultimately left a legacy that for the next 2 centuries tempted his successors to establish French primacy in Europe. Out of the failure of these ambitions, a balance of power emerged, first as a fact of life, then as a system for organizing international relations. Exactly, that's kind of what it was. Fosse, live and die by God. But this is where Richelieu kind of took a left turn and was focusing on the needs of the country, okay, before God. Now, that was huge. Back then, now we're talking, this is 17th century stuff. So when you're saying that was like a huge bugaboo back then. You didn't defy the church. Although, it's just the way it was. Richelieu came into office in 1624 when the Habsburgs' Holy Roman Empire Emperor Ferdinand II was attempting to revive Catholic universality, stamp out Protestantism, and establish imperial control over princes of Central Europe. This process, the Counter-Reformation, led to what was later called the 30 Years' War. we're gonna get, that is a subject that I want to get into. As a matter of fact, in a later episode. What's up, Will?
Yo.
Just reading from the book right now. We'll, just
what
kind of.
happened to my sound? Where's my sound?
Uh-oh, no sound.
Shit. I'm messing this up.
No, it's all good. Can you hear me though?
Ah, we're good. Okay, cool. It was all me. Oh,
I was just saying, just bear with me. I'm just doing some reading right now. It's kind of dry, but it'll get somewhere.
Right on.
All right, where was I? Oh, the Counter-Reformation led to what I was talking about, the 30 Years' War. That's a subject we could get into, but this is kind of the period we're talking here, which erupted in Central Europe in 1618 and turned into one of the most brutal and destructive wars in the history of mankind. Yeah, how about that? So here's a little backstory. By 1618, the German-speaking territory of Central Europe, most of which was part of the Holy Roman Empire, was divided into two armed camps, the Protestants and the Catholics. The fuse that set off the war was lit that same year in Prague. And before long, all of Germany was drawn into the conflict. As Germany was progressively bled white, its principalities became easy prey for outside invaders. Soon, Danish and Swedish armies were cutting their way through Central Europe, and eventually the French army joined in the fray. By the time the war ended in 1648, Central Europe had been devastated, and Germany had lost almost a third of its population. In the crucible of this tragic event, Cardinal Richelieu grafted the principle of raison d'etat onto French foreign policy, a principle that other European states adopted in the century that followed. Again, we're just kind of laying the framework of the direction that foreign policy was beginning to take under Cardinal Richelieu. Okay, again, instead of it being based on the church, it's going to be based on national interest. Let's see. As a prince of the church, Richelieu ought to have welcomed Ferdinand's drive to restore Catholic orthodoxy. Again, because he's a cardinal and he's part of the Catholic Church. But Richelieu put the French national interest above any religious goals. His vocation as cardinal did not keep Richelieu from seeing the Habsburgs' attempt to reestablish the Catholic religion as a geopolitical threat to France's security. To him, it was not a religious act, but a political maneuver by Austria to achieve dominance in Central Europe, thereby to reduce France to second-hand status. So it's unique how this was transpiring. So even though he was a cardinal, and he was part of the Catholic Church, he understood, especially in the Holy Roman Empire, that they were using the Catholic religion in order to achieve their quote-unquote national interest.
Right.
But because he was a cardinal and because he was a subject of King Louis XIII, he had to have France's national interest to worry about. So he was kind of at war with himself. His religious and moral self was towards the Catholic Church, but he also understood he couldn't rely on the Catholic Church to achieve his national goals for France. So this is where first, this is, like I said, Cardinal Richelieu was one of the first guys that kind of diverted away from religion as the basis of power and using, again, national interest. And again, this is all gonna relate into Realpolitik, because Otto von Bismarck did the exact same thing for Germany, but in another century. Instead of in the 17th century, he did it in the 19th century. Here's what Richelieu's fear was. At a glance at a map of Europe, it shows that France was surrounded by the Habsburgs' lands on all sides. Spain to the south, the northern Italian city-states, dominated mostly by Spain in the southeast. The Franche-Comté, today the region above Lyon and Savoy, also under Spanish control in the east, and the Spanish Netherlands to the north. The few frontiers not under the rule of the Spanish Habsburgs were subject to the Austrian branch of the family. The Duchy of Lorraine owned fealty to Austrian Holy Roman Emperor, as did strategically important areas along the Rhine in what is the present-day Alsace. If northern Germany were also to fall under the Habsburgs' rule, France would become perilously weak in relation to the Holy Roman Empire. Okay, I guess we had enough of this. So that was what the Cardinals' fear was.
Well,
Being surrounded on all sides, right?
Right. Well, the Habsburgs are throwing their weight around using the Bible.
The Habsburgs, man. You want to talk about, I mean, there's still bloodline of the Habsburgs around, you know?
The Habsburgs, yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, the Habsburg, think about this. Europe, it's not just like one specific, it wasn't just one specific nation. It was a culmination. It's crazy.
Right. Their blood runs deep. In fact, some say they're still in power to this day. They refer to it as the black nobility is what
really?
the conspiracy theorists term it as. But yeah, this gave rise to the Hohenzollerns in the north and the Prussian Empire.
This is what we're going to get into next.
Oh crap.
Absolutely. Perfect. That's a perfect segue, because what happened was now he's playing quote unquote power politics.
Right.
That's where raison d'etat and Realpolitik all derive from, well, I should say power politics derives from those two quote unquote mythologies, I guess you could say, or ways of governing specifically international relations. And then balance of power. The biggest fear, and I already talked about this earlier, the biggest fear in Europe was to have a unified Germany.
Yeah.
Because they understood a unified Germany would be a powerhouse in Central Europe, and it could upset, quote unquote, the balance. So you had to have a balance of power. And
well, I mean,
go ahead.
Think about it too. I mean, at that time, Germany was a hotbed for new ways of thinking, a new way of doing things, a new way of politics. They were kind of almost a radical nation, if you will. With a lot of mind power there.
Yeah, and then of course you had a different one of the most powerful states, of course, was Prussia. Those guys. I mean, Frederick the Great, the guy knew how to fight.
Those guys weren't any slouches. And,
exactly.
and what's interesting is the dichotomy between the Prussians and the Habsburgs, one being Catholic and the other being Protestant.
That's why the 30 Years' War was devastating for Europe. Devastating. And again, it was a war based on religion.
100%. That's all it was.
100%. It was the Catholics wanted to root out Protestantism. I can't even say Protestantism. Yeah, close enough. But yeah, and that's how Germany and Cardinal Richelieu, he didn't want to back the Catholics, because if he backed the Catholics, like he said, France would have been relegated to a second class, because the Holy Roman Empire was based off the Catholic Church.
Right.
So he wanted, and you know what he did? And he actually did it. It says it in a book. I'm not going to read it, but I'll just surmise. He formed alliances with Protestant forces, and he formed alliances with Muslim forces.
Yeah.
In order to counter the Holy Roman Empire, because it was in the national interest of France. Sometimes you have to choose strange bedfellows, if you want to, quote unquote, put forth your national interest. And to get into the Realpolitik here, and this is the definition: foreign policy based on calculations of power and the national interest. And of course, it brought about the unification of Germany under Otto von Bismarck. The guy, I mean, this one thing that he was able to do, let's see. Since Germany was located in the center of the continent, it stood in constant danger of what Bismarck called the nightmare of hostile encircling coalitions. But if Germany tried to protect itself against a coalition of all its neighbors, east and west, simultaneously, it was certain to threaten them individually. Speeding up the formation of coalitions, self-fulfilling prophecies became part of the international system. What was still called the Concert of Europe was, in fact, what does that say? Driven by two sets of animosities: the enmity between France and Germany, and the growing hostility between the Austro-Hungarian and the Russian empires. Okay, this is where I'm trying to get into with Realpolitik. Okay. It's kind of what all nations have done now. There's not very many nations, I think, that will base their foreign policy on quote unquote a religion. Maybe Middle East, maybe? I don't think so. Do you think?
Middle East.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Iran is kind of in cahoots with China and Russia.
Right.
And they're not exactly stewards of Islam. You know what I'm saying?
They're not stewards of Islam, but one thing they do have in common, and Russia has the same, and well, that too, but Russia has nothing in common. They all have in common is the massive atheist population. So the lack of faith. They see faith as something that's almost an enemy of the state, really.
Okay, fair enough. Yep, true. So here we go. You got Otto von Bismarck, who practiced Realpolitik. So basically, what he wanted to do, and unfortunately, it helped Germany thrive and be powerful, but at the same time, and we're going to get into this more when we talk about World War I. His machinations with Germany and the rest of Europe kind of led to World War I.
Right.
And the reason why, and I'll bring it up on this website, World War I website. Wow. I can't even tell you how many alliances were formed prior to World War I. It was ridiculous. Look.
Well, I mean,
it was England would... Okay. England would back Germany if France and Russia were going after Germany, all right? But then a few years down the road, if Germany got too powerful, England would then back France against Germany. And then Russia would be, well, it was weird, dude.
And it all has to do with the Habsburg bloodline. That was how it was all set up.
But getting to the crux of it is there was always one nation and kind of, it was actually the United Kingdom that kind of would throw their weight behind the weakest,
right,
as to prevent one European nation to have more control than the other. Like I said, they would either back France if France was the weakest link. They would back Germany if Germany was the weakest link. Usually it wasn't Germany because Germany usually was pretty strong. They would back Russia. I mean, it was just. And another thing is they had, and I got to go back in history to understand what it was, but I know that the United Kingdom also had a special relationship with Belgium and the lower country. They call them the lower countries. The lower countries. Belgium, Netherlands, and all that area right there. If anything, if their sovereignty was infringed upon in any way, UK would come to their rescue immediately. I don't know. I can't remember why. I'd have to actually get into it. But what I'm saying is, so that's what Realpolitik and raison d'etat means. It means you're putting your national interest at the forefront. Now, does it always work? It all depends, right? It all depends. Sometimes the national interest, no one ever wants to go to war or have any type of conflict. But sometimes, just like with what happened in Germany prior to World War I, Bismarck was getting into all these damn alliances as to protect Germany from being invaded from either the Russian side or from the eastern side of Russia or the western side of France. So there were always, as he said, he was surrounded by enemies. And of course, you had the Austrian, initially the Austrian Empire was to his south as well.
Austro-Hungarian.
Which is unique, though, is after World War I. I mean, how many of the monarchies fell? 3 monarchies fell after World War I.
They dropped like flies, and that was pretty much the end of the Habsburg reign.
That was the end of pretty much monarchy.
Monarchy, yeah, right, exactly. Which was
monarchism ended. The Russian monarchy went away with the Russian Revolution. German monarchy went away from being defeated in World War I. Same thing with the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. Went away with World War I.
Yeah.
But it's just, I kind of wanted to just get into the Realpolitik because the idea of national interest in international relations, it kind of developed over time.
Right. Yeah. Back then, states their identity was their religion.
The religion. Yes.
That's all it was.
Absolutely, 100%. It was based on religion. You think about it. I mean, the Pope, man, they had. I mean, it was.
Oh man, he had control of. I mean, he was.
He's the one that the Pope. Which Pope was it? What was it? Oh my gosh, let me look it up. I don't want to get false. That started the Crusades.
One of the French popes, right?
Oh gosh, because there used to be 2 popes.
Right. Yeah, I know France was a big proponent of going into into the Muslim countries all the damn time too. But he was pretty much he was almost a mythological figure. The Pope had so much control over the entire world. I mean, the known world at that time.
That's what it was. I was right. It was Pope Urban.
Pope Urban, yeah.
But it was the second, Pope Urban II. He's the one that stoked up European anger into going invade the Holy Land.
Let's go take it back, guys.
What's up?
Take back the Holy Land. That didn't go very well.
Didn't go very well. But that's what I'm saying. Religion wielded a huge power in what was being conducted in Europe.
Oh man.
And again, it has changed. I mean, I think pretty much everyone understands how politics work or international relations. I mean, it's nothing. It's nothing new to when you hear about power politics and balance of power and all this other stuff. Yeah. But I kind of wanted to talk about, where exactly this kind of derived from, that it always wasn't based on national interest.
Right.
It was based on religious interest.
Yeah, and a prime example of that during the same time period, they were colonizing other parts of the world underneath the guise of Jesuit Catholicism. They wasn't because, hey, we're Spanish. No. We're Jesuits, and we're here to teach you about God.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what that was about.
That's interesting. But Jesuits also, they did some great work, though. I mean, they were very smart in science, and I mean, they were. And don't get me wrong, of course, they're also promoting, of course, Catholicism. But it was just unique in how all that worked. Where else was I going to go with that? I just lost my total train of thought, but it was all based on religion. Look, I'm not saying religion is bad. Everyone has their own faith. I'm just talking about how religion was affecting national policy. We're talking, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th century, and it's interesting to see how it evolutionized over time.
Oh yeah.
And you could see it today. And if you think about it, you look up Realpolitik, and you'll see Chinese Realpolitik, Middle Eastern Realpolitik. Basically, it's all, their quote unquote national interest for whether it's the Chinese, whatever nation that you want to put under Realpolitik.
Right.
So that's kind of what it's because every country right now has their own national interest. What's it based on? Not religion.
Right. Exactly.
Not what the Pope is saying, right?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So it's just unique how all this all developed.
I mean, just think about it. I mean, I know you want to move on, but just think about just how much power that had back then. I mean, my God, it wasn't just one nation. It was the whole Western world.
Think about, look at, for example, the Habsburgs, and this is just an example. They had Spanish.
Yep.
They had, I mean, the Ottoman Empire. They went into Spain.
Yeah.
There was a Muslim contingent. I'll never forget when we visited Portugal. Mm-hmm. We went to an area, Citra, I think it was called. It was a big fortress, but the Muslims had occupied that at one time.
Yeah,
and it's fascinating to hear how everything kind of developed. When you think of Netherlands and Belgium, that was all under Spanish control at one time.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just really unique. And then, and then of course, when you get into the marriages, how they arranged marriages to keep their power, right?
They were masters of doing that, man.
It was the United Kingdom's king would have his son marry a French prince. You know what I'm saying? Just keep the power. It was all weird, man.
Yeah.
Really weird. Man, I can't even. I mean, I don't even want to try to go down that road right now because
Oh
I mean,
no,
that's,
oh yeah, that was
we don't even. But
what they were doing was nasty. But I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of incest.
In
Yeah.
respects to that, it was also it gave rise to books like Games of Thrones.
I mean, it's just. But again, that's another form of how they kept on the power.
Yeah.
It was, the marriage within the church, because of the marriage as seen by God, it means saying, hey, now I'm, I got some power over here, all based off the religion.
I was appointed by God himself.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. But then, like I said here with Cardinal Richelieu and Otto von Bismarck, they're like,
maybe not.
we got that's not going to get us anywhere. We're going to kind of deviate from that way of thinking. And if you think about it, France became a powerhouse after Cardinal Richelieu's ideas of raison d'etat.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Otto von Bismarck. He used Realpolitik and was able to unify the German states, which was like, at that time, that was the biggest fear in Europe. Crazy. Anyways, man, kind of interesting. Again, I'm not an expert in this stuff, not by any means, but I just I read about this stuff and I kind of I like to see what it says, and I want to kind of just expound on it a little bit, especially what's going on today, because you can kind of see power politics playing at its finest right now, right?
Right. The fall of the Habsburg dynasty is one of the things that's not really talked about very much. People don't really cover that too much. We'll talk about it, or what led to its downfall. So, I mean, it's
and of course
they were so powerful at that
time.
I mean, Jesus.
And then you could get into how the that Austro-Hungarian, that's what it became, empire.
Right.
They were claiming rights to the Baltics, but the Russians were like, no, those are our people. So it was very convoluted, I guess is the best way. Yeah. I mean, because it was, but that's kind of what led to the alliances, how Austria-Hungary had an alliance with Germany, led again to World War I. Soon as because Russians were starting to get involved in the Baltics. So then Austria declared, isn't that how it started? Didn't they declare war on Russia?
I believe so, yeah. I mean, it was.
So then because of that,
domino after another.
And because Germany had an alliance with Austria, so then Germany had to declare war on Russia. But because Russia had an alliance with France, so France had to declare war on Germany because they declared war on Russia, because Russia declared war, because Austria declared war on Russia. Man, it was just, I think I got it right there. I think I got it right, but it's just.
It's close enough, man. I mean, it was just one big convoluted mess.
And, I mean, yeah, you had alliance. I mean, and now if you want to kind of put that in the modern day, you got NATO, which is also an alliance.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. It's more of well, maybe not. It's a security alliance. That's kind of how they were back then too. So, I mean, it's kind of taken on the same blueprint of what it was like in World War I. Granted, hopefully they learned some mistakes from World War I, because that just led into some, and I think because there were so many different alliances, maybe that's what it was. That's all I could think of.
Yeah.
NATO's kind of a one common goal type of thing. It's a security. Don't get me wrong. NATO was formed. It was a security agreement. And the biggest threat at the time, of course, was the Soviet Union. But you got to remember, the only time that Article 5 was ever initiated was when we got attacked in 9/11. Had nothing to do with the Russians. Had everything to do with terrorists.
Right.
So it just tells you, the NATO is there for a reason. But gosh, man, we could get into more stuff with that. I mean, I'm gonna wind up going just all over the place. I don't want to get too crazy. Man. Anyways, fun times.
Oh yeah.
There's plenty of stuff to go read out there. Like I said, you got Henry Kissinger books here, Diplomacy, that I've read out of. I love reading that book. It's a great history lesson on that type of geopolitical type of wrangling. Just learning the history of it. But if you just just Google Realpolitik, if you have access to like a database, like a school library or something, where you could find some online articles, it's fantastic. It will open up. You could see a lot more articles that are written upon it. Like I said, you could see how Realpolitik has affected, that type of mindset has affected, like I said earlier, different nations. But it's fascinating to read about.
Yeah.
All
the
right.
rise of nationalism.
Yeah. But do you think nationalism probably always been there though?
It's
Maybe
always been there, but it was always under the guise of religion first. I mean, especially back then.
Right.
This is kind of a separation of the two, separation of church and state. Yes, the proper term.
All right. Let's see what we got. I don't think not a whole lot different, is there?
Well, Aaron's got a good comment there. Talk about JFK, and yeah, they were right. You're right about that. They were worried about him being a Catholic as president. They thought he was going to do the Pope's bidding.
What is it? Wait, where was this one?
JFK being the first Catholic president.
Oh yeah, that was kind of like a big thing. Yeah, it was. That was kind of a big thing that he was the first Catholic, because everyone's afraid that they're gonna no drinking, no this, no that. It was just it's really it's very unique, and just how Protestant and Catholic. I mean that was one of the issues why there was a war in Ireland, right?
Still to this day, there's still
Catholics and Protestants.
Northern Ireland is they're still torn between that line, Protestant versus Catholic.
Here in the United States, there necessarily wasn't a war or well, I guess you could say there's some violence, but nothing to the extreme of what happened with the 30 Years' War in Northern Ireland. But there's definitely a schism between Protestantism and Catholicism, and not so much today as it was.
Yeah, and if you do find it, it's usually more on the East Coast or Northeast. That's usually where you see it at. And that's, again, that's heavy Irish roots in those areas and Italian roots.
Let's see what we got. Just got to take a look if there's anything new out there. Not a whole lot. Kind of the same stuff going on.
Well, current event-wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hootie's still doing Hootie things, and Russia's still doing Russia things.
Yep. I guess we had airdrops.
Yeah,
some supplies in Gaza.
Hey, we backed the guys who bombed you, but here's some food. God,
we already know who's going to get that food. It ain't going to be the civilians.
Yeah, we fed them off. Congratulations, Biden. Dumbass. Well, and if not, they're going to sell those on the black market somewhere.
I hate to say it, but it just seemed like a political move.
That's all it was. They're playing to a hand. People were all pissed off about that guy lighting himself on fire. So they went to go placate the masses, as they always do. And, the same story as always.
You got an election coming up.
You got an election coming up. So, hey, you got to, he's playing on both sides. It is what it is.
Oh, man.
I heard the same story of buddies that were in Iraq and Afghanistan. They would pass out the humanitarian aid, the little yellow bags, yellow MREs.
Yeah.
And they would find them on dead terrorists.
Yeah, of course.
They would give them to kids and find them on dead terrorists. There you go.
Of course. Somalia. Remember
Aaron,
Somalia?
Be careful. It was all fought over food. And then next thing you know, you had warlords controlling it. Next thing you know, we're in a pile of shit.
Yep. All because of them controlling the food, man.
Black Hawk down, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a buddy that was stationed there. He's a little bit older than you. And he was there during that time. He was just a regular Joe passing out food. Next thing you know, it cracks off like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. All because of warlords. That's what it was, right? Yeah. They wanted to control the food. They didn't want to. They're using starvation as a tactic.
100%. Oh yeah, Aaron, be careful of that telegram, dude. Oh man. Whoa, you'll see some crap on you, man. I want to see, man. You just gotta filter the bad with the bad, I guess. There's really no good on there, to be honest.
There was a guy I used to watch. His name was Sean Odison. He had a great YouTube channel, but I guess they took it because he kept showing the footage going on in Ukraine.
Oh,
I
yeah, they
guess
don't want you to see that for whatever reason. They don't like that, huh? I mean, I think Funker's gotten hit with a couple of strikes because he shows footage of what's happening.
and the guy was even blurring it and everything. So I don't know what the deal. That's why the other day when I was playing it, I didn't want to show when the grenade dropped on that guy because I know they'd be like, nope.
Oh yeah,
he got he got diced up pretty good with a grenade that dropped from that.
Yeah, I could only imagine, man.
Oh,
let's see. Yeah, Telegram. Whoa. Oof. I've seen some stuff. I've got the 1,000-yard stare now, man. I earned it after exploring Telegram. Holy crap. Oh yeah, Ron, I saw that. Old Klaus Schwab, the great Satanist, man. Guy's a piece of junk.
Isn't that the guy from the World Global Economic Forum or something like that?
Man, if you had it his way, you'd be eating bugs and you'd just be a sheep to the big man. You wouldn't own anything. Oh man, it's just the guy's a fruit ball. The guy's a total fruit bag, man. I mean, yeah, over Navalny, right? Over Navalny.
Yeah, Navalny. Yeah, I was surprised to see how many people showed up. That's brave. That's very brave because you could get locked away for a long time.
Oh yeah,
for expressing that type of stuff.
Yeah,
I think it says something. It says something of that. Maybe the people of Russia have had enough.
Well, you know, Russia is always the people themselves always showed signs that they wanted some relief from the oligarchy, if you will. It's just it's hard to unify a country like that because people are scared.
Absolutely, fear does. Yeah, fear has a huge control over people over there.
You know, they know what they did with the people in the in the 60s, 70s, and the 80s who spoke out against the USSR.
Yeah, the Gulag.
They went away, did some harsh labor in Siberia, man, and they still do it to this day.
Exactly, that's where Navalny was when he died. Yeah.
Good old Black Dolphin prison. Yeah, no thanks. Have you seen that thing? There's what's that show called?
There's a show, The Worst Prisons in the World, or something like that.
Yeah, to call them human would bend the tongue. Excuse me, that's your citizen.
Was that?
Yeah, so they have this thing called Black Dolphin Prison. It's in the middle of nowhere, Siberia. That's where they send all their political prisoners, all their chomos, and their serial killers and whatnot. And this Russian officer is sitting there and goes, "Yes, to consider them human would bend the tongue." It's like, wow, that's how you treat them, huh? And they do. They bend them over. They're all facing the ground as they're walking. Dogs are barking in their face. These big old. I've never seen dogs like. I don't know what kind of dog this thing is, but it looks like a damn lion, and it looks about weighs the same. And it's just barking in their face and stuff, and it's almost like they're in boot camp. They go stand in the corner, yes sir.
Oh wow!
Otherwise, they get their asses kicked. They can't sit on the tables during the day. They can't sit on the tables unless they're eating. They can't lay on the beds. Man, it's brutal.
And it's gonna be, I'm kind of segueing into something. Do you think JFK Jr. is going to make some noise here?
Like Ross? No, I don't think on the level of Ross Perot. I don't think.
You don't think he's going to be the great disruptor?
Oh man,
he might,
but I don't think he'd be elected. I think he would be.
No, he's not going to get elected. But is he going to play? But is he going to play a role?
He'll be a sponge. He'll be a sponge for votes, and
that's what I was going to say. Is he going to affect the election for one side or the other?
Ross Perot did that.
He did. It hurt. That's why George H.W. couldn't get that second term, was because of Ross Perot.
Yeah. People at my grandparents would vote for that guy.
So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that all works out. It's going to be interesting. All I know is right now it's a mess.
Well,
that's a mess. Hey, yeah. I see they passed another continuing resolution.
Oh, really? Cool.
Can't pass a budget. Another CR.
Let's go ahead and kick the can down the road.
Kick the can down the road some more. Exactly.
Hey, so we could go talk about it later on and make another campaign. We'll fix it this time if you vote for us. Kiss my freaking ass, man. It's just politics these days, man. It's just so freaking laughable. What happened, maybe it's always been this way. We just have
been ignored.
phones in our hands.
Taking different forms,
It just didn't seem like this way in the early 2000s or the 90s or the 80s. But I don't know. Maybe it's always been this way. Who the hell knows? But man, it sucks. Whatever the hell it is. And you're right, Nick. I mean, it's all about cancel culture. The moment you start talking about stuff like that, guess what happens to you? You're canceled. You can't talk about it. It makes you think why, right? What kind of agenda is being pushed out there. But
that's that's one of the issues I have. It's like
the cancel thing. That's the thing.
I don't understand that. I really don't.
And the same people who sit there and cancel people are the ones saying, "Want to go? It's my First Amendment right."
Right.
Well, it's also my First Amendment right to say, "Hey, maybe this thing's a little funky.
Right.
Maybe it didn't go down the way it went." Can we be a skeptic here? Can we be adults? No, they want to be freaking children. That's just, and that's actually Aaron too. That people get rich off these campaigns. You don't even have to win a presidency.
Exactly, you get to keep that money, man.
Oh my God,
you get to keep that money, all that stuff that you generated.
Oh, Nikki Haley, man, she's freaking loaded, man. She's as soon as she gets done with her little BS run after she finally gets tapped out of this whole thing. Oh man, she's living good. Not like she isn't already. Oh, I agree. Cancel culture. I hate this PC BS. We gotta be careful of everything you say. Oh my God,
Oh, you know what I did see? Did you see the news going on with the German Chancellor? Schultz? Hold on, give me a minute here, because I think I had liked it, but it's going to be way back because it was a few days ago.
Oh yeah, they're doing that. They're doing that to the January 6ers too, Nick. They're hunting them down like dogs. That one poor gal's baby got lost.
Speaking of, this part, I don't get. I'll get into that later. But what the heck were we just talking about? I just missed it. Because I'm looking at this.
Cancel culture, FBI doing what they're doing.
Oh, the January 6th. Did you know none of them were prosecuted for insurrection?
Oh, of course not, because
not one.
There was no insurrection.
I know.
There was no insurrection. Requires force and violence and guns to be classified as such. But what do we know, right? They're scary terrorists. Better go arrest them.
Okay, here we go. Where is it at? I'm getting close.
It's not political prosecution at all. Bunch of we've turned into exactly what we were demonizing in the 60s and 70s. We were demonizing Cuba. We were demonizing the USSR. Guess what we are now? We're no better than they are. How sad that is. We are a freaking banana republic. Amazing.
Is this the one? Here we go. Okay, here we go. I'm going to get into this. I like this guy, Patrick Fox. He's a good follow on Twitter. Okay, this is a few days ago. You remember how Emmanuel Macron, the president of
Macron.
Yeah, remember how he said, "Hey, we're gonna, if we have to, we will send troops to Ukraine," right?
Yeah.
And I guess it got the German chancellor in a tizzy, and he came out. Here we go.
I remember. Okay, yeah, no, I remember this.
Chancellor Schultz, I think it's Schultz, in defending his decision not to send the Taurus missiles. Taurus missiles are the same thing as the Scalp and the Storm Shadow missiles that both France and the UK have sent to Ukraine. Okay, insinuated that there are British and French troops on the ground in Ukraine assisting with the use of Storm Shadow missiles. He said a similar situation would be unacceptable to Germany. The most interesting aspect of this response has been the denunciation that he abused intelligence, not that he lied. UK Ministry of Defense has declined to comment and referred all questions to the Ukrainians. This implies at least two things. One, we have troops from NATO member states on the ground in advisory capacity, similar to that of the USSR PRC, assumed in support of the North Vietnamese air defense crews in Vietnam War against the Americans. It has also been done covertly and officially done deniably up until now, in line with Cold War doctrine of avoiding overt direct conflict between nuclear powers. If these 2 points are in fact accurate representation of what is happening on the ground in Ukraine, Olaf Scholz has just openly betrayed 2 NATO allies to provide cover for his own aid refusal. This is the kind of move that shakes alliances.
Right.
He added on, if in fact Scholz is brazenly lying or simply has his facts wrong, London and Paris will need to say so officially and in no uncertain terms in short order before this spins out of control. Thus far, they have not done so, to my knowledge. And in addition, number 2, let me just get into it. Frankly, whether or not London or Paris deny it, some will always believe Scholz told the truth, or at least claim they believe in it in order to further their own agendas. Russia herself will top that list, but there are a slew of international and domestic actors within various countries. We can expect to exploit this statement for their own ends. The potential for damage and political turmoil is fairly impressive. Now, guess what was reported earlier today? It's going to be funny. I got all the way back up now. Yeah, that Patrick Fox is pretty good. I like him. Mm-hmm. Where are we at here?
Yeah, that's way to throw him under the bus there, homie.
Yeah, exactly. Check this out. Check this out.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. Same guy. The Chancellor of Germany, Olaf Scholz, has ordered an immediate investigation into the interception and leak of a recent classified conversation between several high-ranking officers of the German military regarding the war in Ukraine and future assistance that could possibly be provided to Ukrainian Air Force.
Oh.
According to officials, the call took place on an unsecure line, which is believed to have been tapped by Russian or other foreign. This is what happened. Here, hold on. Where's it at? Damn it. I'll find it in a second. Hold on 1 second. Where is it? Did I not get it?
This is going to get good.
Oh, yeah, here it is. It's the same guy. Hold on. Let me go back. So what happened was this is what was they're talking about. The German Ministry of Defense and the Chancellor have confirmed the authenticity of a recent phone conversation between high-ranking members of the German military, which was intercepted, talking about the transfer of Taurus long-range cruise missiles to Ukraine and their use to targeting the Kerch Strait Bridge between mainland Russia. So you're going to go out there and you're going to out the French and the British and say, we'll never do this kind of stuff.
Meanwhile, you're planning an attack on the Crimea
behind
Bridge.
the scenes, you're out there doing it. You know, I got no issue. If you want to support the Ukraine, that's fine. But don't come out in public saying this stuff, and then lo and behold, the Russians catch your department, their equivalent of the Department of Defense. Wow.
He is now he's kind of a night and day difference between him and the guy who actually runs the Ministry of Defense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's more of a Merkel type, if I remember correctly. This Chancellor here, he's kind of
this guy. I think he's more a lefty.
Yeah, he's definitely kind of.
Matter of fact, he's a socialist. He's a socialist, if I'm not mistaken.
Which no wonder he threw France and UK. But to think that there's no troops there that are as observers that's asinine to begin with. But
yeah,
but to be a head of state and say that, dude,
bad on you.
Yeah,
bad on you.
Go
especially
sit in the corner.
When that's supposed to be an alliance member nation,
right?
And you're going to have them call out talking about this, but yet you're behind the scenes gonna allow for something that you were against. It's like, come on, man.
That's unforgivable.
You know what that also tells me? You're weak. You're a coward.
That's exactly what that says. Now
that's the problem, though. That's the problem.
Now Russia knows that the only thing that's got bite there is the MOD, and the MOD is spineless because the guy in charge is spineless themselves, the Chancellor. So Germany could make threats all they want now, and Russia's like, okay, we don't care. We know your guy. We know
This
who
is the
you got.
problem.
You guys already bought and paid for probably.
When you show this type of disunity, because remember, we're saying NATO's coming together. It seems like everyone's supporting Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they are to a certain extent. But my gosh, come on. You're doing this in front of on the world stage. And what do you think Russia's doing here? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Our plan's working here, you know? And
Well,
it's just
back in the day, I mean, maybe even today, who knows? It probably still works this way too. But back in the day, in the Soviet era, they would find leverage here. They would go plant their operatives in there, and they would go find who else is loyal to not going to war with Russia, and start sowing those seeds. Sowing division within the ranks of their own politics. That's what they were famous for.
Yep. Oh, this is great.
Great job, the Chancellor.
Yeah, good job.
Piece of junk.
Way to.
Did anybody advise him before saying, like, hey, if you go out there and say this, you're going to make us look like a bunch of idiots?
Exactly. Look at that. You see that little RV or an RC?
Yeah.
You see that, right?
Yeah, I was starting to laugh because
here it goes. The music.
It's got a bomb on it, doesn't it?
Yep. So it's over here. You can't see it. Pretty soon you will. So he's over in the Russian lines. Boom. That's pretty damn significant.
Someone's got nailed by a damn Tonka truck.
Yep. Someone just got blasted by a Tonka truck. Yep.
Some little RC Tonka truck.
Unbelievable.
Holy shit. I mean,
like it said, the title said the future of warfare.
And why not? It's cheap. Doesn't cost any lives.
Oh, God. You're talking about cheap. And this is fantastic. Matter of fact, this is, if you go back to the February 18th, 60 Minutes, they did a good interview of, what was it? The Vice Admiral of the Fifth Fleet for the Navy. And they're talking about the ongoing operations in against Yemen and the Houthis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's funny. They even brought it up. The reporter, I was like, wow, good. So we got multi-million-dollar missiles intercepting something that cost a couple of thousand.
Yeah. Essentially,
that is telling, right? Of course, the guy says there's no price on the captain of the ship. I get it. There's no price on the safety. I get it. But come on, man. How are you going to win the future of combat? Because that's what's happening. You got all this stuff is being built on the cheap.
I mean,
the United States hasn't figured that part out yet.
Think about Afghanistan, for example. We were getting shot at with rounds that we supplied in the 80s. Those RPGs our soldiers were getting shot at with, same thing. Those came from the 80s. We bought and paid for those things. Yep. Guess how much they cost? Pennies on the dollar. You know?
Exactly.
Houthis do. I mean, man, we saw what their military looked like. It looked like a freaking Miami Vice crap that they had out there. Looks like cardboard cubes painted up. Like
we got to be smarter than that. It used to be in the height of the Cold War. You remember you had guys like Rickenbacker and who was the guy for the Air Force with the ICBMs? I can't remember what his name was.
Oh yeah, I know
Rickenbacker was for the Navy. I can't remember. But here's the difference. During that time, private industry was helping the United States. Right. Today, it's not quite there like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't know what has happened to disconnect between, using our resources available to us to be able to develop a more lethal military. It's kind of a shame because that's what the damn Chinese are doing.
Well, I mean, back in the day, even in the 40s and the 50s and 60s and whatnot, our industry was, to use the evil term today, patriotic, and they would go out of their way to make something happen for the country. These days, well, we don't want nothing to do with that. How dare you ask? Because patriotism is evil, and these corporations they kowtow to something that's not American, really, not American ideals.
Right.
And then again, if you say American ideals, you look at it as a weirdo these days now. So everything is all backwards and reversed. It's just
very
not even, it's a
strange.
very
Yes.
strange thing that's happening, and it's a global thing. It's not just here in the United States. Every Western country has this in common right now. Very weird. Very weird. Russia's got no problem with that, though. Russia's doing just fine, and so is China. So kind of makes
they're their entire industry is just building the damn military right now.
They have giant. I'm not talking about giant. I'm talking about some of the biggest steel mills you ever see on the planet out there in China, dedicated only to military manufacturing.
That's it. Oh, they're out manufacturing us. Absolutely. We've talked about this before. You know, if we want to ensure, you know, our strength where people ain't going to mess with us, we better do that.
Meanwhile, our steel mills have all been closed down throughout the last 40, 50 years.
Yep.
Rust Belt, what's that?
Yeah.
That's now you see it on Ghost Adventures. That's where your Rust Belt is.
Yep. Ghost Adventure, that's pretty funny.
Well, it's true. They did a couple episodes of some of the smelting areas of some of the steel mills or something. Sloss Furnace, I believe that's out in Alabama or something. Oh, I tell you what, though, that would spook me, though. Could you imagine being in a steel mill by yourself at night? Wow.
Woo!
No thanks, man. I don't care if it's haunted or not. That's just a feeling of just being alone. It's a big, weird thing like that. Oh, it's like being in the woods by yourself. Screw that.
I know.
I see those guys on YouTube who do that solo camping crap. I'm like, man, you got some balls.
Yeah.
there ain't. I mean, there ain't no way. I'm even with the gun, I'll be up all night, man. Jeez.
Gosh.
Keeping an eye out for old Sasquatch, man.
Yep. Good old Sasquatch. You may have ran into him, right?
I may have. I don't know. I was shroomed out pretty good.
That's funny.
Whatever the hell that was, though, I don't know, man. I still think about it. I mean, it's been over almost 11 years now, you know, and it's like.
Speaking of the mountain, man, they're getting hammered with some snow, aren't they?
Yeah, and the rain when it rains, it's been raining, and last night was thunder and lightning a little bit.
Yeah, crazy, man. We kind of need it, though. You know, we don't want to hear about the stupid drought anymore.
Yeah, if I hear about that drought again, I might punch somebody in the face. Yeah, it was PTSD, man. I'll go ahead and use that card for something, man. Because holy crap! Especially after this storm, it's supposed to be nothing but a big old blizzard over there for a week and a half out there in Sierra Nevada. So.
Yep. I think it's supposed to keep raining right until like Wednesday or something.
Yeah.
I mean, there's breaks in between, but man, when it rains, it dumps. It dumps.
See when another tree comes down over here, that'd be cool.
What else is going on out there that I could think of here? So you got the German chancellor being an idiot.
God, that's got to be one of the biggest political gaffes in history. I mean, Jesus.
Oh, you had. I guess Putin had his speech, both, kind of for his quote unquote election. And I guess this kind of like it's all rolled into one, a kind of a state of the nation type thing. And
it's just one. Good for you. He's got his own brand of vodka there. They call it Putinka.
Really?
Yeah.
Putinka
vodka. Well, it's got his face on and everything. You better like it.
You better like it. Don't spit that stuff out. You go to jail.
In fact, I believe it was Anthony Bourdain who did a thing on that. He went and bought some Putinka, and he had a piece of bread and some sausage with it or something. And then they went to the Russian version of McDonald's. It's like a McDonald or something. It's making fun of McDonald's. Crazy stuff, man. Let me think. What else is happening out there? Well, there's still. Oh, this pissed me off. There's a veterans group out there that's supporting their freak job. They were throwing their uniforms and awards and fires and stuff in the name of Aaron Bushnell. Excuse me? What? So you support mental illness? Because that's what that was. That guy wasn't standing on any principles. He was just a mentally ill, freaking brainwashed kid. And how old the guy was he? He's only probably, mid-20s, if that, early 20s? He was just a young dude.
Speaking of brainwash, how about the people excited about this Chapman news, huh?
Oh, shit. Yeah, I saw... oh, yeah. I even took a screenshot. I was going to send it to you guys. I was like, I can't do it to you. We've already had enough of this Rothberg crap as it is. One guy was like, here it is. Where's that? He goes... So somebody posts, well, this still might be a third place team, to be honest. Another guy goes, well, third place teams can make the playoffs. So that's how low the bar's set now, huh? You just want a playoff appearance? Because that's all it's going to be. It'd be one and done. So if that's how low the bar is for you, as a fan, Jesus.
How about this? How about, the Giants spending $228 million this offseason, and you still don't have a starting rotation?
No. I mean, they have...
I know we're kind of diverting away from military history, but...
I mean, I believe I saw Sean Jelly listed as like starting 6 or something like that. He's in the rotation. Excuse me. Wait, hold on. This guy sucks. What are we doing? What?
Steve Garvey making some noise. I saw that.
Why is that guy even around? I mean,
would you rather have Steve Garvey or Adam Schiff as senator? If Steve Garvey gets elected, that would be huge for the Republicans. That would be huge.
Definitely not like that. I'm not.
But I have no idea what his policies or anything about him, other than he was paid for the Dodgers and the Padres.
Schiff is in some. He's involved in some pretty weird stuff that's been kind of swept under the rug over the last few years.
The guy's
like that.
The whole impeachment thing, that was just dumb.
Well, that, and he had ties to this guy who was, he was a predator. He was a predator. What he was sexually assaulting young men. Really? Yeah. He's providing them drugs. A couple of guys ended up overdosing. He happened to be he wasn't just a donor. He was actually friends with Adam Schiff. I believe he's. I can't remember. It goes deeper than that. It's and Schiff is on Epstein Island visitor. Yeah, D-Shot. He swings that other way, I believe. Strange stuff, man. Strange stuff.
Wow.
But that's the other thing. Maybe we should talk about it too much, but isn't it strange how they just go after Trump left and right, but nobody on the Epstein list has ever been investigated or thrown in prison? Even after they show pictures of people with underage girls who say, "Yeah, that guy raped me."
Yeah.
20 years ago, that guy touched me, and no, that's cool, but Trump's bad. What was our priorities at, man?
Yeah, Ned was I don't know if he was a huge fan. He thought it was a decent signing, but
one thing you need to understand
I'm not going to argue with the former GM.
Yeah, well, one thing you need to understand about Ned too, he's a great businessman, and he's very much playing it political. He's not going to really tell you exactly what he thinks.
Oh, of course not. I wouldn't do that either. Especially if he wants to,
get back into the game.
Yeah,
man.
Right. You're not gonna sabotage your own, what you want to try to do, for that. I don't agree with it, just for the simple fact of the Giants have higher needs than the third baseman right now.
Oh, I mean, it's is
he going to be great defensively? Absolutely. Is his bat going to play?
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't add a bat to the whole thing. You guys proved that last night by showing the stats. There's no bat there right now. I mean, could there be a bat? Maybe picks it up. Who the hell knows? But at this point in time, he's no better than Casey Smith or J.D. Davis.
Right, and that's you already have JD. That's the part I don't understand. You already have JD Davis, and look, are they gonna be better than Chapman in the field? Probably not.
No,
but they should still be. You got to start somewhere, right?
You got to cultivate something. And if you're gonna say you're going young, then go freaking young. What are you doing?
This is what doesn't make sense. If Chapman has a great year, what is he gonna do?
Oh, he's out. He's gone.
If he sucks, what's he going to do?
Oh, he's
opt in.
Thanks
so
for the money, guys.
Either way. So either you're stuck with a guy that isn't going to be very good for 3 years, or he's great for 1 year. You lose that 1 year of development that could be going to Casey Schmidt, who's going to have to take over.
And this is why we
but he's that far behind the curve because you weren't able to play Schmidt during that year. Do you see what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's why we still have doubts about Luciano and Elliot Ramos.
Yep. And you know what?
And the worst part about it, dude, what I'm afraid of, we're gonna see Matos get buried for Yaz or someone else. Like,
Farhan's already said it. The lineup is going to be the outfield is going to be Conforto, Lee, and Yaz. He's already said it. But even before the first spring training game was played, he came out and said that.
What an absolute clown!
He even said it's going to be a challenge to try to get Matos some at bats.
I mean, I get Conforto. I mean, I would take Conforto over Yaz any freaking day. But
Lee, you have to play him, of course, because you signed that $6 deal.
You're forced to play that guy, even if he sucks.
Yep,
you are forced.
But right field,
come on,
you could have moved on from Yaz.
Yeah, there's no need for him. You don't need to sign that guy for anything. I don't get it. I don't get that. And how many catchers do we have now? 3? What we can do about Bart? You got to do something with him now. You're forced to.
I don't know. What I want to know is what happens to shortstop.
Oh, even better.
Right? Okay, right now. So, yeah, now you're on a baseball channel. Yeah, exactly. So, Chapman's your third baseman. So where does J.D. Davis go? Where does Casey Schmidt go? Where does Luciano go?
Yeah, where they all fit in. Yeah, thanks.
You only got one position, shortstop. You can't put 3 guys at shortstop, man.
No. Could you imagine Davis at shortstop? That ain't going to work out very well.
That ain't going to work out.
That guy's not exactly the most mobile person on the planet.
The Solid Glove could attract pitching. Yeah, they ain't going to attract pitching. They got $10 million left on the CBT. $10 million. That's it. Actually, yeah, I think it's closer to 9. But you got let's say $10 million left. Who are you going to sign? That's going to sign for $10 million this year.
God.
The only way that gets done is if you trade. So before they go sign a starting pitcher free agent, which do you see them doing that? Did you realize that if the Giants sign Blake Snell, they forfeit a 3rd round pick and another $500,000.
They already lost the 2nd round.
And they've already lost the 2nd round pick and $500,000 by signing Chapman. You think there's no way that Farhan is going to give up another draft pick and another $500,000. It ain't happening. Even if you free up the money, or if you free up the money, he ain't going to lose another draft pick and another $500,000. Come on, people. This is Farhan Zaidi we're talking about.
Good old Beavis himself, man.
No way that happens. Now, I don't know if Montgomery, did he get a qualifying honor?
I thought he did, right? From the Texans, right? I mean, not the Texans, but the Rangers. Excuse me. Oh shit. Wrong sport.
I don't think they signed him to a qualifying offer.
No.
So you could sign Montgomery, but again, you got to still free up the money because he ain't going to accept $10 million for the first year. Aaron says this fan base is nuts for shit. I'm not nuts for him.
Oh no, he's talking about the picture.
Got it.
Yeah, he was.
Got it, Aaron.
Whole hogging it, man.
But it's just, come on. guys, this is Farhan Zaidi.
Well,
we kind of knew that this Chapman thing was going to come down. It wasn't like a a surprise signing. We kind of saw that coming.
You know what? We'll be better offensively and defensively, but
okay, we're better defensively. Who's going to defend the ball going over defense?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Well, you have the best offense. I was getting there. You can have the great. You can put up the runs, but if you can't, if your guys are getting homered every freaking game, it's not going to matter, man. If all you have is Logan Webb, that's it. That's it. That's a wrap.
Look at this, Logan Webb. He's your ace.
Yeah.
Harrison got high potential, right? Got high potential. There's a possibility he has a great season. That's possible. Your third, Hicks, is a starting pitcher experiment. You have no idea what you're going to get out of Hicks as a starting pitcher. Then you got Keaton Wynn. You don't know. I mean, has he even come close? He hasn't even sniffed 100 innings. Hasn't sniffed 100 innings pitched. And you're gonna have to get. And Dan talked about it in a video we did earlier. You're gonna have to at least get 150 innings, right?
Yeah.
And then your fifth starter, to be determined.
And then you got Sean Jelly.
And then, are you gonna rely on Cobb, who's coming back off of surgery from a hip?
At 30, he'll be 35 years old by then.
Robbie Ray still recovering from Tommy John. The Giants could be, by the time these guys come back,
it could be
it could already be buried.
Yeah.
It could already be buried. Could. I'm not saying it will, but it could be buried.
Oh, man. It's going to be wild to watch.
Ned said about creating the competition for shortstop. To be honest with you, is there a competition? Because right now, Luciano isn't doing a whole lot, is he?
No, he doesn't look that good.
Did he play in today's game?
I think, I believe he did. I believe he got at least one at bat. I don't think he hit the ball with a shit.
Let me see. Hold on. Who that? Oh, you're checking right now?
Yeah, they pulled it. They played Fitzgerald at shortstop again. Let me see. Yeah, no, they had Luciano at shortstop. Man.
What do you do?
3 at bats, 3 strikeouts, man. Yeah, that could have cut it.
Look, I understand it's spring training, guys, but
he hasn't got a single hit the entire time.
But you gotta get a hit, right? Or at least get the damn bat on the ball.
Fitzgerald did all right. 1 for 2 with a run.
And here's the problem, because the worse he does, the lower his stock. Right?
That's the thing. That's the thing there.
He just may not have it. I mean, it happens though, right?
Soler looks like Soler's doing pretty good. He's had a pretty good spring training.
Yeah, he'll be okay.
Yeah,
problem is he's going to get pitched around.
Exactly. There's nobody there. There's no bookends for him, so he's going to get paid to get walked.
Well, where is it at? Where do I want to be on this? Hold on. There is a way to do this.
Case has been struggling at the box too.
I'm trying to minimize this. Get out of here. All right.
Dan enters the chat. Dan needs to enter the damn fantasy baseball already. We need to go ahead and do this. Get this over with. I think I didn't time that properly. My bad. If I accidentally coughed into the microphone.
Yeah, he hardly even played in winter league. Batted 170.
Well, yeah, we were talking about that. Remember, he wasn't doing good in the winter league either. He was struggling.
He had 47 at bats with 18 strikeouts.
There you go.
And 1 home run. This is going to be bad. And I even said it. I said it on the show that Luciano may not be it. He may not be it. He's pressing. Okay, if he's pressing now in spring training, imagine what it's going to be like if he's at the big club.
Oh,
what's up, Jim?
When the real pressure's on?
When the real pressure's on. You think pressure's on now? I mean, it's not looking good. It really isn't.
Who else do we have at short? I mean, other than
so it's just gonna be Fitzgerald and Otto Lopez. Forgot about
Otto Lopez. Yeah.
Oh, Nick Ahmed.
Oh, that's right. Man, they brought Nick Ahmed aboard.
Nick Ahmed. I don't know what they're doing, man. Whatever.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. Third base defense is going to be great. It's going to be fantastic.
That's cool and all.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. But I think the needs are elsewhere. Maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, obviously we don't unless we'd be in charge, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how this works, man. Why isn't one of us one of the GMs?
Jeez, man.
What happened to that? What happened to the cards that we were dealt with? Damn it. Shit.
Yeah, I agree. He's only 22. I get it. Yep.
Yeah.
I get it. But people may overtake him as far as position wise.
Well,
it's not like he hasn't had a lot of good success in the minor leagues.
And if he struggles this year, he's going to get the bus title. I mean, they already did the Bart's been wearing the bus title for what, a couple years now?
Yeah, we did this before. Gosh, you know what? I don't want to do it on this show. I don't want to do it on this show. Whatever.
Ninja Turtles is legit. Yeah. Was there a new one? Was there a new one? I remember watching the old cartoon. That was pretty good.
Here, let's real quick. Let's bring up when he was in Richmond last year. He batted a cool 228. He had 11 home runs. Not bad. 72 strikeouts with 202 at bats. Strikes out a lot. He has a little bit of power. But he's also not doing it. When he was at Sacramento, he batted 209. He batted 209 with 28 strikeouts with 67 bats.
Shouldn't his
what is that?
Shouldn't his average be going up in AAA?
My God, you're approaching almost a 50% strikeout rate. But he got the call up, right?
Mm.
So altogether, in last year between AA and AAA, he batted at 223.
Well,
in 2022, between rookie ball and high A, 269. It's okay, but we're talking lower level.
Right.
When you get to the AA and AAA, granted, it's not the major leagues, but it's a little bit. It's the competition's a lot more difficult, and it is showing that he doesn't really have it. Just going by the numbers, guys. That's all I'm doing. Just going by the numbers.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to go by the numbers. I haven't had eyes on him the whole season, and on top of that, he's got some back issues.
Oh, yeah. Back issues at 22?
Yeah, that's not good.
Jeez. I mean, I could... I'm trying to think what happened when I was 22. I didn't have any back issues, that's for sure.
I know, I needed to
I played a very violent sport.
Oh, yeah, you were playing rugby, right?
Yeah, man. I played through injuries and whatnot, but I never had any back issues.
But anyways, that's enough of the Giants talk for now. What else do we got out there? Anything? Anyone want to talk about anything? If not, I'll get ready to shut it down.
Yeah, you guys want? I mean, I got time. You started early, so.
Yeah, I started early today.
If you guys got anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, he has. Absolutely, Mark. Yeah. He's had injuries his whole damn minor league career. That's not good.
I wonder, that's one thing North Southern. Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit. That's one thing.
Fill me in. I'll Google that. I'll see what this is all about.
Before I get to that real quick, though, it just seems like the younger generation's got a lot more issues with their health than us older dudes did. You know what I mean? They seem to be a little more injury prone. I don't know what that is, or maybe water's different. I don't know.
What the hell is this? Let's see.
North Sentinel Island is an island, I believe, part of the Adamandan Island chain, and they are occupied by the Sentinel tribe. And the Sentinel tribe are what they call an uncontacted people, so to speak.
Where you come in contact, you're going to die type of thing?
Yeah, and literally you do. If you come in contact with it, they will shoot you full of arrows. So throughout the years, what's happened is people will. It's a very stormy area in Indian Ocean, and so sometimes people will get shipwrecked, or people will, they evidently end up on the island for whatever reason, and they encounter these Sentinelese people who are not liking them one freaking bit. One guy recently went there, probably about 4 or 5 years ago.
Right here. Here we go.
To spread the Christian faith, and he got plugged full of arrows, man. They don't want to hear about Jesus.
Look at this. The death of an American tourist who illegally visited the isolated North Sentinel Island had drawn the world's attention to the small island's reclusive inhabitants. They're one of the few mostly uncontacted groups left in the world. Yeah, because I think there's some in the Amazon, right?
Oh, and they're still finding them to this day.
Yes. And they owe that to the isolation partly to geography. North Sentinel is a small island off the main shipping routes.
With the shallow reefs, there you go.
Surrounded by a shallow reef with no natural harbors, partly to protective laws enforced by the Indian government, partly to their own fierce defense of their home and privacy. They're not entirely uncontacted. Over the last 200 years, outsiders have visited the island several times. And it often ended badly for both sides.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Census report. Somewhere between 80 to 150, but it could be as many as 500.
Mm-hmm.
The Sentinelese people are related to other indigenous groups in the Andaman Islands, the chain of islands, and India's Bay of Bengal. Interesting.
Now, what's interesting about them, too, is the way they look. They don't look like anybody else in that area. They don't look like an Indian. They don't look like Sri Lankan. They almost look Aboriginal.
There?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so that kind of, so if you guys are into that whole, where we come from and where people went kind of thing, that kind of, what's that all about? I mean, where did they come from? How did they end up on that island? I mean, I don't know if they had to get there somehow, right? So if they got there, if they get there, how come they don't have the ability to leave the island anymore? What happened there? It's kind of strange.
Look at that. There's the island.
Yeah. So it was feared in 2004 they were all wiped out by the giant tsunami. Oh. But they flew over. I believe they flew over to see if they were still alive, and they found that they were very much still alive. Yeah, it's kind of wild. And there's another group of Sentinelese. They call them Sentinelese.
Yeah, Sentinelese.
And they're on there's a northern island that's part of India as well, but they actually they kind of mesh with the local populace, so they'll actually go into town and buy goods and whatnot, and they go back to their little I don't know what the hell they live in, maybe a hut or something, who knows. But those guys are much different than the ones here in this Sentinel Island here that hate. Very xenophobic, in other words, the other guys. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. You know what they kind of remind me of? They remind me of those tribes out in Papua New Guinea. There's even a tribe out there in Papua New Guinea that still practice cannibalism to this day.
Watch out.
And, oh, yeah. There's a pretty cool YouTube channel if you guys are into travel and food and whatnot, called the best food review show ever. And the guy goes out to Papua New Guinea. This dude comes popping out of the tree line with a spear on it. A spear.
What?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild. And the guy goes, wah, wah, wah. And he's like, oh, you got a translator here? What's going on? This guy want to kill me? He goes, no, he just welcoming you. Okay.
Wow.
Holy shit! So yeah,
We can bring up the map. Want to bring up the map? Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me just finish looking at this here real quick.
Anytime you guys are gonna pop in again, you just say "wah" back to them. I guess you'll be fine. I guess that's how they greet each other. Oh my god! I thought that guy was dead, man.
Oh, what is this?
Oh, John Allen Chow. Yep, that's him. Yep.
Trespass stepped onto their island earlier this month and stood on the beach singing hymns. They chased him away twice, but when he ventured ashore a third time, they're believed to have killed him.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, he shouldn't have freaking messed around.
Some people don't like Jesus very much, man.
Man. Well, they just don't like anything. I mean, that's just...
No, they, you know.
Let's take a look at Google Maps.
I mean, think about it. I mean, well, think about it. Like, if someone washed up on your beach and it looked like the exact opposite of you,
yeah,
that would be a little.
You're an alien, right?
Holy shit! I mean, that's what the Incans did to the conquistadors. That's the reason why they were able to conquer the Inca or civilization, right? With a handful of soldiers.
Okay, where the hell would it be? There's the Andaman Sea. This is Bay of Bengal, East Island, Great Cocoa Island.
The Great Cocoa.
I just want to see the name, and then I could go to satellite.
Sentinel.
East Island. Where the hell is it? I guess I probably could type it in, but why type it in when I try? I
believe the people who are from the Adamantian Islands who are sitting in leaves there, they don't really know what those other people are all about, or why they are the way they are. I guess so aggressive, even though they're part of the same, I guess, tribe or culture.
Where the hell is it? Come on, man.
Have you? Yeah, Jim. You know what another word for ancestry.com is? Ancestry.com.
Really?
Well, people find out that cut his married cousins.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Where the heck is? I don't think it's going to be close to shore, right?
No.
Where the hell is it? They said it's in the Bay of Bengal. Had to do with India. Well, they said the Andaman Island. That's over here.
North Sentinel Island.
And I'm going to have to wind up freaking typing it in a search bar. I don't hate doing that.
There's you ever play that Geo game? I can't remember the name. It was called Geo Vera or something like that.
Oh, you got to guess where it's at?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's just west of the big Adamantian Island. Southwest.
West?
Southwest of the Adamantian Island thing.
There it is. Look at that. Here we go. Oh, what the hell? Wow. Interesting. These are where they said they're able to fish and everything with no issues. Like almost natural harbors.
Yeah. Protected. And that's what they say helped protect them during the tsunami. There was a reef, that giant reef.
Oh, this reef.
Mm-hmm. Took the brunt of it.
Do they live along the shore? I don't guess they don't. I guess they
live inland.
Man, you can't even see.
Oh man, I mean look. Yep. Hey,
it's smoke.
You got some smoke, man. Some smoke.
No. Or is it? Is it a cloud or smoke? Clouds.
That's cloud there, but the other one looks kind of smoky. They're smoking their fish or reefer. Smoking palm trees. Palm tree leaves.
Ooh, what's this?
Oh, interesting. Why is there a lone bright spot?
Yeah, interesting.
Okay.
Let's see if you catch any of them fishing out here.
Well, you see, you know what's the interesting part? There's people who actually get paid to do this for a living. I mean, obviously you go through salary images and whatnot, but I mean, just like people, just third parties, right?
Uh-huh.
And they've been finding people out in the Amazon forest in the middle of nowhere. They'll see them on the shores of a river or something. Like, whoa, nobody's supposed to be here, and come to find out some tribe.
Can't tell what that is. You should be able to see their boats, though, right?
Well, that's the thing. They don't have any boats.
Oh, they don't?
No, they have no way of getting off the island. They're not even actually.
Really?
It was actually thought for a while they didn't know how to make fire either. Like they're like a true Aboriginal tribe that's like
Everything's raw, huh?
everything is just like brand new to them, especially seeing someone like us. Oh shit!
This is crazy. You're out in the middle of freaking nowhere. But
Right?
not quite, because you got this out here.
Well, even then, how do you end up on that island? And keep in mind, the people of that island there don't look anything like these guys, man.
Who knows?
I mean, so like, where the hell did they come from?
You know, they
It's
could have been slaves that were brought to this island, and then they said, "Hey, we're getting out of here. We see an island out there. We're gonna go." Who
well,
knows?
the Sentinelese were there before anybody else
Interesting.
was. That's a thing, though. They were discovered by the Dutch East India Company.
Yeah. It was at the East India or the Dutch East India?
The Dutch.
Okay. Because there's two of them, the English and the Dutch.
Right. Putting them in zoos and stuff, man. So they were.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There's some wild stuff, man. Jeez. It kind of makes you wonder, even in Africa and stuff, like there's got to be like some uncounted tribes out there too.
Yeah, out here in the Amazon.
Oh, and that's such just a massive, dense. I mean, you can have so many satellites up. I mean, that's the reason why I believe in Sasquatch, man. Like for real. I mean, there's no way you could. There's so much untouched territory.
The diseases that you would catch over there, man, forget about it. You're done.
Yeah, old Henry Ford figured that one out.
Man.
Arrow says he's more of a parapolitic guy.
A parapolitic. Parapolitic.
Right. See, that's what I'm saying, Fossey. How in the hell did they get there? I mean,
yeah, that's interesting.
And they don't have the ability to make a boat or anything. So,
well, how about good old Easter Island?
That's another one that's wild too. Now
now that's out here somewhere, right?
I believe you're in the
I'm in the right area somewhere.
You're in the right area. It's just off the coast of Chile. I think it's out there a little ways. But they're supposed to be Polynesian.
Yeah, it's Polynesian. The Polynesians were able to travel long distance, which is incredible.
Right?
I mean, it's like, how the heck?
Now, what's interesting, is in Kennewick, Washington, they found a skeleton of a man who looked to be of Asian descent, or Polynesian descent. That was a few years back.
Cook Islands. This was part of World War II as well.
Oh, yeah.
We did the island hopping. That we took the southern route instead of going straight after Japan. We took the southern area and then worked our way out. So you had a base of operations.
Yeah.
Okay, where the heck is Easter Island? They say it was off the coast of Chile, right?
Yeah, it's about 3,000 miles or so.
It's just off the coast.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
relatively. I
can't
remember. I think there's an actual name for it. I don't remember what it is.
Not a cheat.
Oh shit, Jim! I had myself.
Oh, it's this one. It's okay.
Yeah, there's like Isla the where the hell?
There it is.
I kind of want to go to that island too.
Where was it? Where all the damn heads are?
I believe the entire island was surrounded by them, right? I mean, there's a special term they have in the Polynesian language for it. I can't remember what the hell it is. Yeah, there it is. You just scrolled over it, looked like.
We're all right here, right?
Yeah, all lined up. Isn't that wild?
That's crazy. Yeah, I guess there's a lot more buried underneath. It's not just the head. They've been excavating it.
Yeah. Jim wants to know what I had for dinner. I had myself some bratwurst, man, with some
bratwurst
on a nice sausage roll with some onion sauce and sauerkraut. And
there you go. Holy crap! Look at all this.
Isn't that wild? These things are thousands of years old, man. You know, I have to. You know, it kind of makes you think a little bit, or kind of not really think, but makes you kind of realize these people are a little bit more advanced back then than we give them credit for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, that's true.
Corned beef cabbage, yep, that is coming up. I should have bought one this weekend, but well, maybe I'll do it tomorrow before they all get all sold out. Get some Blarney Stone over at Walmart. I think they sell for like $14 right. Well, right now they do. Next week they'll probably increase the price. I mean, look at all that. I mean, there's so much untouched land out there that there's. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised you got something hanging out there.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, look at the damn Pacific. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you got massive Antarctica, which is being freaking.
Now, here's a conspiracy theory for you.
It's Antarctica's turning into a giant military base. That's what's happening.
Well,
right?
Here's the thing, right? So, how come we see satellite photos of everything else in the in the world except for Antarctica? There's no satellite photo of Antarctica.
Is it really? Let's see.
No, I mean like an actual detailed satellite photo of just Antarctica by itself.
Oh, there's McMurdo. That's the scientist stuff over here.
There's got to be some real interesting stuff.
I know there's some
buried underneath all that ice, man. Yeah, you're not allowed to fly over, and you're not even allowed on that. You're not even allowed on Antarctica itself. You go to freaking prison real quick.
You actually get a special ribbon in the military if you go to Antarctica.
Yeah, that tells you how much they hated you.
Yeah. Supposedly, the Chinese have got something over here somewhere.
My buddy saw a couple of Navy SEALs. They had the Antarctic
ribbon
device thing, yeah, whatever the hell it was. He just walked by and laughed. So I probably would too, man. You gotta piss somebody off. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you want to go there, that's cool, I guess.
Right.
Literally.
The hell is this? Out in the middle of nowhere, dude. Look at this.
What kind of animals would you have to go? Yeah, look at that.
What the?
And they have some places that have like these big pools of pink water and stuff. I'd go down there to see some penguins or something.
Look how close the tip of South America is right there, man.
Yeah, that's where you start from, really. In fact, you could take in New Zealand too. You could take a cruise ship from I believe it's Chile or Argentina, and go down to Antarctica. It only costs you $20,000. Yeah, it only costs you $20,000 though.
That's all.
That's all it costs is $20,000, man. That's easy peasy, right? Jesus. 190-mile-an-hour winds in the Sierra Nevadas. Kyle saying.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard it's really bad.
Are you serious? Sasquatch better button down for the night, man.
Huh.
Good old Sam Squatch.
Chardall's out there. What's up?
It's Craig Chardall. How you doing, man? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would go to Antarctica if I could afford it.
I think I'll pass.
If I could afford it. Greenland, yeah, that's another wild place too. That's just why the hell they call Greenland and Iceland? Somebody messed up there.
Yeah, they kind of messed up just a little bit.
Somebody's blind. No, Iceland I wouldn't mind going to. That might be a pretty cool place to go to. Go out there, eat some of that shark jerky.
Volcanoes all the time out here, though, man.
Yeah, it's
all the time.
I tell you what, that looks like the freaking. If you ever had to pick a spot for Ragnarok, that would be it. Oh, rescue at Donner Pass.
What's up?
Well, isn't there supposed to be like a no travel advisory right now? I mean, people are still out there. Yeah, you know, if you end up getting Donner Party, man, that's on you.
That's crazy. Holy crap. Is it that bad? No, I'm going to have to take a gander at this.
Oh, dude, Mark, that's like on my list. I really want to see Northern Lights.
Northern Lights?
Yeah.
Borealis, Aurelius, or whatever the heck it's called. Something.
You gotta go on a cruise to Alaska to see that stuff these days, I think. or go to Sweden or Norway or something, whichever one's the least expensive.
Let's see.
Man,
Heavy Sierra snow disrupts mountain travel.
Should be traveling right now, man. That's got to be. Oh man, the wind alone. Well, if we ever have a big nuclear event, we'll all see the northern lights. Oh shit. Well, I guess they had didn't they have, was it last week or the week before that, they had a massive coronal mass ejection that knocked out some of the AT&T towers for a little bit.
Oh yeah, the X. It wasn't a full-on shot, but yeah, if an X class was it? Yeah, what do they call that? CREs, coronal ray ejection, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess people were seeing some of that too. Oh yeah, I-80 should be definitely shut down by this point in the 50. Oh, I got a buddy out there in Alpine Meadows right now. He's probably got snowed. His door's probably already clogged up with snow and everything.
Wow.
With my contractor buddies. That guy's insurance went up by like just one guy by himself, man. His insurance went up freaking triple this last renewal. Because this state sucks when it comes to insurance. Cyber pandemic. Man, I'll tell you what, 1999 was a weird year, huh?
Oh, remember the whole
people freaking
Y2K?
out, losing their minds over. Yeah, people losing their freaking minds over.
Losing their minds,
oh
man.
My God, that was so overblown. It didn't happen and nothing really happened other than there was some malfunctions here and there, but other than that, man. Wow. It's like a 2012 Mayan apocalypse. It's so overblown. Good old Y2K. The sky's gonna fall. You know, people make a lot of money off of that, so. Yeah, Kyle. Man, nothing happened at all. Just wake up, it's another day. Oh, cool. Let's go to Toys R Us. Oh, mine didn't either, Kyle. I didn't buy that crap. In fact, I think we went to Blockbuster the next day. Got some Nintendo 64 games or something. Oh, no. I think Dreamcast had just come out that time. I should have kept all my freaking old consoles, man, but I didn't do it. Anyways. Hey, so I got one for you. Oh, Fosse, man, you and me both, dude. Inflation is, well, hold on a second. What inflation? According to someone in office, the economy is just doing just fine, man. You got to enjoy your $12 Whopper meal. Probably more than that these days. Another reason, one minor reason out of many that I'm leaving California. But yeah, it's man, I'll tell you what. I mean, it just seems weird. I mean, you can remember prices even 3 years ago weren't nearly as bad as what they are now. So everything's increased by at least $4 or $5, it seems.
Oh my gosh, tell me about it.
I mean, when
going back up again.
When you could go to a fast food restaurant, it costs as much as going to Applebee's. Something's wrong there, man.
Crazy.
It's like, what in the hell?
I know, dude. It's like, what?
I mean, like, there's most of the population lives paycheck to paycheck. I mean, I can't imagine what that's like how do you afford feeding your family? I mean, shit.
It's got to be very difficult.
And then if you are living, and then the worst part about this whole thing is if you are living paycheck to paycheck, you you no, not almost. You in fact you make too much money to qualify for things like SNAP or EBT.
Yeah.
So you, and then on top of that, you also make too much money for medical benefits, the Cal, Medi-Cal, and Medicaid. It's like, and meanwhile, that's a massive part of our population.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Mark, you said right there, you're eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and freaking ramen and Hormel chili. I mean, that's so
And then your
ridiculous,
health goes
man.
to shit. Yeah.
And then you got that compound, and then all compounds one after another. It's just so silly.
You think Kyle says you think gas will go to not in California, man. It doesn't matter whether there's an election or not. Remember, we have to have two different blends of fuel in California.
Yeah.
Remember, you get the summer blend and you get the winter blend, and the summer blend costs more than the winter blend. So that's why prices go up in California during this time.
And most of your gas price in California is nothing but tax.
It's a big percentage, huge percentage.
I miss getting gas on post, man.
Oh yeah, didn't have to pay any of that.
No,
way cheaper. Yep.
Oh my god, flat $2 a gallon. Yeah.
Cool.
No. Hamburgers or hot dogs this year. Now that's a great debate. I think it would depend on, for me at least, it depends on the day and where I'm at. If I'm at a ball game, I'm getting a hot dog.
Yeah.
You almost have to.
And it depends the type of hot dog too.
Oh yeah. Like a good hot link.
Oh, hot links are great.
Good hot link for sure. And hamburgers though. If I could eat a hamburger every day and not die from it, I probably would. Freaking look. I mean, what's better than a hamburger? I mean, really think about it. It's got everything you need. Right? To include all the cholesterol.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't beat that Costco hot dog and soda. No way. $1.50.
Oh, man. Hey, by the way, if you guys use Instacart and use it to go to Costco, why not? You can ask your Instacart shopper to get you a Costco dog.
No kidding.
Yeah, they'll pick one up for you.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. The more
Dodger
you know.
dogs, extra pickles. Ooh, I don't know about pickles, man.
Pickles on a hot dog? Well, I mean, relish. But not like flat out pickles. I'm not a big fan of the Chicago dog stuff. Like, I don't want to hold him. I mean, I like sauerkraut on hot dog, but I'm not a big fan of whatchamacallit, sport peppers and celery salt and tomato on my hot dog. Yeah, that's what they do over there.
Between Instacart and a Costco membership, you're losing money.
Actually, you don't need a membership at Costco to use Instacart for Costco.
Oh, to go get the food or to?
Yeah, they already have membership.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Never tried picking a pickle.
Oh shit, Kyle! Speaking of good hot hamburgers, man, my cousin used to work at what was that plant he used to work at down there in Hayward? Shit, they did all the meat for all the restaurants, like all the frozen foods, and one of the things they had was the frozen hamburger patties all the restaurants get. This thing was amazing. It was a big old fat hamburger. You could throw it on the pan if you want, and no juice would come out. It would all stay inside, and it was like the juiciest, best hamburger on the planet, man.
I had about there.
Oh man, dude, I was eating those like every other day.
Oh man,
he literally brought me a big old freezer bag full, industrial size freezer bag full of this stuff one day. I'm like, damn, that's so good.
Wow.
Go back to school or keep working? Well, that's a great question. I mean, because that's one thing I talked to my cousin with, because his GI Bill just ran out, unfortunately.
Did he get his degree out of it?
No, he kind of milked it for like the last 10 years.
God, 10 years.
Well, if you're a Purple Heart recipient here in California, you could drag it on, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you could you could drag it on. Otherwise, if you're just a regular Joe like you and I, you've got the clock's ticking as soon as you start taking the money out. 4 years, right?
Well, no, it's not the clock. It goes by how many semester hours.
Semester
So
hours.
if you
Okay.
skip a semester, it doesn't count against you. So it goes your actual time in college.
Oh, okay. I don't know, Fossey. I mean, I think which one would you regret not doing would be my answer to that one. I'm always a big fan of school. I don't think anybody could have too much education. I went back to
Absolutely.
school.
Yep.
I went back to school. April 2021. I got a veteran scholarship to the Jack Welch Management Institute for MBA, and I do not regret that one bit.
Nice.
I would recommend it. It's a little harder. The older you get, it seems to be a little bit harder because you know what I mean. Because your attention span is a little shorter now. You know, that's one thing I struggled with when I started doing my online courses. Is like, man, what the? I don't have any patience for this. It's kind of hard to put yourself down in front of a book at that point in time. You kind of have to force yourself to do it, get back in the mindset of being a student again. So yeah, I wouldn't wait too long. But I mean, more education in the long run, you know, typically does lead to more, more moolah, if you will. But I would always go down the side of education above anything else. I mean, your job's always going to be there, right? So I mean, don't get me wrong, it may not, but I mean, like, as far as like working and work life, it's always going to be there. And whatever you're doing for education can help you maybe get out of that line of work, something new, or
True.
At least for me, like having the MBA background opened the door for me. Like I'm not just an insurance broker; I'm a head of sales, I'm a department head. I can move on. I don't have to be on. In other words, I don't have to be on the front line of sales anymore. I could go step into a role of I could be a sales manager. I mean, so it does open a lot of doors. And
it does, absolutely.
But yeah. Something to think about, and don't think about it like you have to get a degree either. Even the certifications help too. I mean, shit. My cousin, for example, I use him a lot as an example. He's got so many certs for. He's a welder by trade. He's in the
welding. I mean, being a welder is no joke.
Yeah, they make pretty good money. He does really well. He works at the what's that plant called? There's a name for it. They make all the red vines and red ropes and stuff out there in Hayward. It's pretty cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he works also at the Columbus, or was it the Columbus factory where they make all the cold cuts.
Oh, really?
So he's doing two jobs at once. I don't know how this guy does it. But yeah, I mean, his certs he stacked up over time. That guy does pretty well, doing the maintenance, supervising, and whatnot like that. But anyways. That's my tangent. I'm a big fan of education. So.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can do it, go for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. If you have the opportunity and the means, there's no reason why you shouldn't.
Right. Exactly. And try to, if it's possible, pick a subject that you actually enjoy, because that makes it so much different. Like when I got my 2 degrees in history, I love the subject. Absolutely love the subject.
Yeah.
What was the subject? Mythology. Oh, I did not like mythology.
You didn't like? I freaking love mythology, man.
But it didn't. It got a little bit weird. It really wasn't. We weren't talking about like Greek mythology or anything. It was just.
Oh, that
was
sucks.
weird. It got into like.
Oh, that ruins it.
It got into like the the whole hero path type stuff, and
yeah. I'm good on all that.
I hated it. I didn't like it at all.
I wrote my we did it. Ours is pretty fun. Ours is about all kinds of things. So, even Polynesian mythology we got into. Obviously the Greek and Viking, and then I did a whole report on Viking mythology. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
But of course you had the normal history classes, but one thing I did love about my master's for the graduate degree, it was all based on it was all history, all of it. No dumb bullshit. Gosh, that was nice. I really enjoyed that, man.
Golly. It's also a little weirder being older in some of those classes, compared to your peers, or peers in quotes. Sometimes I remember, when I first started my master's classes, and I would go in there and you see people online who are like 24, 25. They just graduated. They don't really know what the hell they're talking about. Meanwhile, you've already got 8 years in your career.
Yeah, like, exactly.
It's like, I'll show you what reality really is.
There was a lot of older people on the online classes that I had, which was cool.
Yeah.
But a shit ton of writing, man. Woo-wee.
Oh yeah.
A lot of writing and reading. But I enjoyed it. So that's what made it that much better.
One thing I liked about my courses too, we didn't really dive in. There wasn't really a lot of politics involved in all that BS. It was more, here's what the subject matter is. We're going to learn it this way.
Yeah.
This is what
that's how it was actually on my online stuff. It wasn't weird. Yeah. It's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good.
20-page essay. Get ready. Wait till you write.
I had to do a 20-page for my undergraduate. For my graduate, I had to do a 75 to 100-page.
Yep.
Like a small damn book almost.
Mine was about artificial intelligence and how it's shaping the world of insurance technology.
Interesting.
Because
how many sources did you have to have?
Oh my God. I had, how many sources did I have in mine? I think I finished with 200 something. 250.
Oh, so then you were basing everything off the source.
I had to. They were so technical.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
It was so technical, and I really picked a topic because I knew it, because I did it. I worked in the insurtech for the majority of my career. I've been part of 3 startup companies, 3 or 4 different startup companies, and but in order to kind of really delve down to what the nuts and bolts were and what kind of way it's shaping the way insurance is right now, not just in the state but in the worldwide level. I mean, I don't know. I'm not an IT guy, so it's kind of hard to do that without really citing some good sources. But no, it was pretty cool. I don't regret doing that one bit.
Researching the sources, man. You want to talk about I'll tell you what, writing the paper, I love when I get down and start typing, I love it. But when you got to do the damn footnotes, man, that takes so much damn time, man. God, because you're typing away and you're like, all right, I know exactly where I'm going with this one. Then you got to make sure it's formatted correctly. Oh
shit. Okay, Shardo. Give me your top 5 pickup lines then. Let's do it.
Oh, what in the hell?
I challenge you. I'll tell you my pickup line.
My thesis was 78. I think it was 78, 79.
Nice.
None. 0% plagiarism. 0.
They parse that thing through. Oh my God, Shardo, you're gonna get slapped for that one. Anyways.
And it's not, it's if you want to use someone else's idea, that's fine. You just got to make sure that you cite it. That's all you got to do.
Cite it.
That's all you got to do. All you got to do is cite it, and then you're out of trouble. But if you try to pass it on as your original idea, then that's when you're treading on thin ice.
Don't use that one either, Shardo. No, don't use that one either, Shardo. Shardo, I'll give you some advice from an older man. If they're good looking or hot, they know this. You don't need to tell them that. So there you go. Oh shit! All right then, Shardo.
But yeah, no plagiarism, one bit. Now you can base, of course, like I said, you take these sources and then you develop your own if you can. Sometimes it's hard because a lot of the stuff's already been fleshed out. So it's kind of sometimes hard to come up with your own idea. I mean, someone may already have it, but if you're piecing it together to come up with your own original idea, it may have already been done before, but just as long as you don't you're not freaking jacking someone else's work.
Right.
Yeah, Biden. Yeah, he was a bad plagiarism. Bad plagiarism.
Whoa.
I don't know how he got through, but whatever.
What's going on, man? Start off. What's happening, dude? What's going on with you?
Oh, Bill Cosby. Oh, brother.
Oh, shit. I said no, Bill Cosby. That's a good episode of South
Give me a
Park.
minute. I'm going to go get some coffee.
Very good. I'm gonna get something to drink, too. All right, dead air for a second, dudes. Be right back. All right. No more dead air. You have hand, foot, and mouth disease. What is going on? Nope, no cancel. We just get something to drink. Why do you want somebody to punch you in the crotch for? Why would you start off? What's going on with you, man? You need to talk it out. You need to talk it out, homie. You got some drama in your life. You,
Anyways.
What's going on there, man? What's making you say this stuff?
He could figure it out. He's got some time now.
What is going on?
Ugh.
Oh no, I went to go just get something to drink.
But what's cool is even if I just got my undergraduate, I still have access to the library, the online library.
Mm-hmm.
So I could go to JSTOR, man. I love JSTOR. Man, that's a great place to find articles and stuff just written on everything. You want to find a source of something, especially secondary sources. Some primary sources you can, but primary sources, they're getting more and more easier to find. A lot of museums are digitizing their work. So you could literally go to a museum and find primary source documentation, because you need primary and secondary sources, and it's fantastic. Absolutely love it. Coffee, Aussie.
Yeah.
Coffee.
We got good old water. Wish it was something different though. A little bit later on.
I think didn't he say he was 27 or something like that?
Well, he's 27, 28, right?
Something like that.
Oh, firewater, man! I can't drink firewater no more. Get a damn. Last time I did that, I got an ulcer, man. Freaking. Yeah, got an ulcer back in 2021. I was loving me some vodka, some tequila.
That'll chew you up.
Oh man, it did, dude, and it did.
It will chew you up.
Yeah, not much of a beer drinker these days either. It's just stuff kind of just fills me.
I got stock? No stock. But I brew my own stuff. I don't, I'm not doing that. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind going to coffee shops, but I like just doing I buy a big old jug of it at Costco for $9. I'm good to go for a couple of months.
Man, I remember when I lived in the city, just around, I live right, don't ever do this, guys. Don't live next to the building that your freaking company actually works out of. You
lived out of a building that your company, oh, that sucks.
My building was just 1 block away. I could just walk down to my office every day. But we used to go to this place called, what was it called? Spyglass Coffee. It was on Folsom Street. and they would sell like this. They would sell you this bougie cappuccino for like $15. It was the most.
Yeah, get out of
It was
here.
the most ridiculous thing on the planet, man.
Oh, speaking of which, I already talked to you about it, but I want to go do a trip to the Railroad
Yeah.
Museum. We're gonna have to do that, man.
Oh, Frosty Firewater would be like vodka, man, hard liquor, really.
Just the hard stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't do too much. I used to drink a lot of whiskey. Not too much these days. Try not to. Alcoholism runs in my family, so gotta be a little careful. Gotta be a little careful.
Yeah.
Killed my grandfather. It's killing my brother, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's doing better now, but he almost died 6 years ago.
Ooh, poisoning.
He had heart failure, kidney failure, and liver failure all at once.
Oh my! Everything just shut down then.
Everything's shutting down because it was booze. Just boozing way too hard, man.
God,
The guy's 35 years old. Shit.
Was it the hard stuff or?
Yeah, he was that, and he was mixing it with the Norcos, which are painkillers and whatnot.
Oh Lord! So he was just
Yeah, he was just killing himself. Really, is what it was.
Does he live in California?
No, he lives with my parents actually.
Oh.
Yeah, it messed his heart up so bad. He's disabled. Permanently disabled.
Wow.
He's got like 40. I think he's worked himself up to 40% heart function. But when he was in the hospital, he was down to 15% heart function. Woo! I mean, he was on death's door, man. Like he was done.
Well, it sounds like he's got it turned around though. Maybe.
Yeah. He's still drinking like a fish, man. Those. Those guys only want to they help themselves when they want to. I mean, I have my own personal battle with the booze, even myself. And my cousin did too.
Wow.
Shit, I went to in the Army. I'll be open about this. In the Army, I went to ASAP, Army Substance Abuse Program. I got sent there, but command sent me there.
You got command directed.
I got command directed, and they figured out how much I was drinking a night there, and my fault. I didn't take my trash out one night, and they found all of my bottles and whatnot. And that caused them to do a little investigation on my ass, and the next thing I know, my platoon sergeant says, "Hey, you're going to do a three-week program." So
outpatient, or no, inpatient.
Yeah, you go there and you hear all these horror stories. There was a colonel in there that was living out of his car.
Wow.
He was getting divorced from his wife. He was getting a divorce from his wife, living out of his car on right there outside of Fort Lewis, Washington. And I don't know, man. Like I had the worst excuse ever though. They asked you, like, why do you think you drink? Are you depressed? Or I told the gal straight up, and she did not like my answer at all. She said, she asked me, she goes, so Sergeant, why do you like to drink so much? And I said, well, I like to get fucked up.
Okay. All right.
So that was
no beating around the bush on that one.
There was those. Well, NCOs got to do what NCOs do.
Yeah.
But no, man, that was kind of a wake up call. I got my ass together.
That's good. That's good.
No go down on that. Yeah, sir. What's going on with you, man? What is it? You were on one tonight, homie.
It's on something.
Yeah, I was honest. I wasn't bullshitting, man. Like, I wasn't there because I wanted to be. I mean, see, that's the thing. Like, I didn't realize like how big of a problem I had. You talk about parallels in life. So the same thing happened to my grandfather when he was in the Army. Like his platoon sergeant sent him to the same kind of thing. And what they did is they followed him around. They're like, do you realize how much you drink in a day? He had no clue until they showed him all the booze bottles. And that's kind of what they did with me too. Weird parallels, man. Well, sir, that's not an excuse, man. Don't let the booze get to your brain like that, my friend. You gotta control it a little bit. You gotta control Don't let yourself get out of control when you drink, man. Because you'll say and do shit you will regret.
Oh.
Sometimes you might say or do something that lands you in jail, man.
Yep.
And you're right, Jim. Some people can't function without it.
It's true. Yep.
You could get so bad to where you wake up in the morning, you start shaking because your body needs it now. Now you got to the point to where your body needs it, and when your body needs it, whoa! Now you're in a real danger zone because if you go ahead and decide you want to quit, man, that's gonna be hard because you might die. You actually have to at that point. You actually do have to go to. I believe you have to go to a facility for that. But salt.
That's what I wanted to see.
What is salt burn? Look like a raisin. You get the pickle skin. Yeah, Jim, you get the pickle skin going. The leather face.
The leather face.
You get real skinny because all you're doing is drinking and not eating. Yeah, I've seen that before. It's called my brother, unfortunately. Not like I'm shitting on him or anything. I just,
Let's see what we got. They're still figuring out the schedule for the big boy.
Oh, really? Well, it's March 2nd. This should be coming up here pretty soon.
It's got to be getting close. Got to be getting close, man.
I want to see that thing.
I think it did a test run.
Yeah, I saw a doc. You know what? Oh man, I should have recorded. Well, I can't record a Samsung TV Plus, unfortunately. But they had an episode on there on one of the channels that was talking about all the big boys and their play and the logistics during World War II.
World War II.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those things were running around all the bases, man.
Exactly. And during that time, you could get in trouble filming those trains.
Yeah. Because
of spies and stuff. So if you're able to catch some footage of the big boy during World War II, that was something. Because that was a big no-no.
The old big boy, yeah, that thing is so cool looking, man. I mean, I don't know. To me, when I picture a locomotive or an engine in my mind, that's what it looks like to me. I like that.
It's massive, man. Hold on, let me see something. See if there's anything new. I don't think I'm following him. I need to.
Oh yeah, Mark. We had a guy in my unit. Who was, we called him Pickle Skin. And if you call him Pickle Skin to his face, he'd wanted to fight you. But he was only 28 years old, but he looked like an old man.
Wow.
It was just for boozing. Just old booze.
Let's see what we got
his
here.
His cheeks were always red, too. Our platoon sergeant called him Old Red. Come here, Old Red.
Man, that is badass.
Old Red got his ass kicked a lot.
Yeah, nothing new.
Old Red. So here's one for you, Jim. So I worked in the hospital over at Fort Lewis. I actually worked. I worked oncology, which is cancer, and I also worked as a nurse in the psych ward, which was interesting. But people would come in detoxing in the psych ward, and there was one old gal, I remember, she was 72 or 73, and she was a stone cold alcoholic. And her doctor's orders, for every meal, she had to have 2 glasses of wine with every meal. Otherwise, she would go through DTs, which are delirium tremens. So by the way, if you guys want to know who's got more booze in a bar, it's actually a hospital, and it's for that reason. And they're winning people off the alcohol.
Correct.
And
because you could kill someone if you don't, right?
Yeah, then you give them Librium. Well, no. First you give them the Ativan, the real heavy benzos, and then you start weaning them off onto Librium. If they have a seizure, then you give them, what's that? Paul, damn it, starts with a P. It's the same stuff that Michael Jackson was using to put himself to sleep.
Oh.
To help stop the seizures. But she was a wild one, man. She was I remember one night she was yelling out, open this. And I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? So I go to her room and I said, excuse me, ma'am, can you keep it down? People are trying to sleep. She goes, well, can you open this? And she was wanting me to open up her pillow for her. I'm like, man, she's tripping. And so she wouldn't. And so I'm like, there's nothing to open, man. Like, I can't open I don't know what you're talking about. You want me to open your pillow for you? I don't understand. And so I'm like, could you just please calm down? People are, they're complaining about you. They're trying to sleep, or, people in the other rooms. So I walk back out. She starts yelling again, open this. So I'm like, you know what? This is getting a little ridiculous. I go over there, but man, please stop. Please stop doing this. You're causing a fuss now. And this command sergeant major next door goes, could someone shut that bitch up? And so I get on the phone. I call the doctor. And I get an okay to get guess what I gave her? I gave her a fentanyl patch and she went to sleep. So there you go.
Jeez.
Yeah. Got the medical. That's what that fentanyl stuff's used for, man. It'll knock your ass right there.
Knock you out.
Yeah. Psych ward was interesting. Some of those hospitals, oh man, my barracks was haunted. My barracks was definitely haunted. I got to pull up my old phone and find that video. You guys, I could show that sometime because that's some real shit. Shoots a ton of drugs. Probably. I know he did. His nose is falling off. I'm not sure. I wouldn't doubt I wouldn't doubt hospitals are haunted, man, because
exactly. I mean, how much death happens in those?
But that barracks of ours, dude, it was the weirdest thing. I mean, I don't want to. I don't know if I'm just rambling right now, but that barracks, man, it was an old Korean War era barracks. It had like a fallout shelter in it and everything. And I remember one day we got my buddy Shab and I, Specialist Shab, and we broke. We weren't supposed. You're not supposed to go in the fallout shelter. We kind of broke into the damn thing, and we go down there. And we're drunk. Admittedly, we're drunk. Okay, but we go down there. We have this. This is right around when the iPhone just came out and everything. So we have like an iPhone, and we're like recording what's going on. But we stopped, and you can hear something moving around down there. And we saw in the video that I have, you'll see something like this big black shadow go from one corner to the other. And we were like, nope, F this. And we got the hell on out of there, man. And then right above the fallout shelter, though, was the NCO barracks where I was. And so we would then, in order to get to the NCO side of the barracks, there was this big thing of double doors. So you would have to walk through these big double doors. So we can hear someone open up the doors. You would hear someone walk up to the doors, push open the push bar to the NCO barracks. The door would slam shut, and then you would hear someone in boots walk down the hallway. And you would look out your peephole of your room, and you wouldn't see anybody.
Wow.
There'd be nobody there. I remember one time it happened once. There was an Air Force staff sergeant in the room to my left, and then right in front of me, I was in the corner. Right in front of me was my buddy Sergeant Oakes, and I remember I opened my door. Sergeant Oakes poked his head out at the same time I did, and the staff sergeant from the Air Force did too. Because you guys hearing this shit? I said, yeah, it happens like almost every other night. Don't know who it is.
Wow.
But we never figured out what it was. It was just maybe some soldier who, maybe some kind of recording. I don't know, man. It was weird.
Wow.
Wild.
Hey, that was a great story.
Time to go.
For the time to go, man. That's crazy though. Did you ever keep that recording or?
Yeah, I have the phone in my bedroom. I gotta download all that crap.
You should download it.
That's
Take
wild.
a gander at it. Wow. Damn. What's up, Northern Lights? Hey,
What's up, man?
good to see you. But we're getting ready to get out of here. Man, we did a long one today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like I said, it wasn't like a deep dive into Realpolitik. I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about it. You know, with everything going on, you could kind of put it in perspective as far as national interest and how it developed from. Damn
it.
What is he saying? Ay. Weirdo. Anyways, yeah, how it developed from a religious-based type of what do you want to say? How do you want to say it? I guess national interest based on religion rather than just national interest. I guess that's the best way to put it, right?
Right.
I guess that's kind of the best way to put it. So yeah, check it out, the beginning of it, and you'll be able to see some of that. Like I said, it wasn't polished or anything. I just wanted to kind of get into it a little bit. Anyways, next episode will be in the midweek sometime. What will it be about? Don't know yet. Haven't decided. We'll see what happens. But Will, appreciate you showing up.
Yeah, man.
And guys, we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget, you can catch me on NorCal Sports Network every weekday from 8:30 until. It could be like last night if something breaks and we go a little bit longer. Last night was actually pretty good. Had Larry and Ned Coletti come on talking about the newest signing. But anyways, as far as this is concerned with Military History Chronicles, yeah, we'll get into it next week. Like I said, I really haven't thought about what to talk about. I did Civil War not that long ago, so I'll probably pass on that. Maybe we'll get into something. We'll figure it out.
Maybe more recent Vietnam or something. No.
Yeah, maybe we haven't. Yeah, we haven't done Vietnam.
No, we've talked about World War II, World War One,
Civil War. We got
Civil
into
War, Revolutionary War. We touched on
a little bit. Oh yeah, we probably should hit on the Vietnam War. Absolutely.
Oppenheimer. Oh, that's right. I haven't watched that movie yet.
Yeah, I haven't either. All right, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks again, Will.
Yeah, man.
See ya.
Peace.